not living up to expectation or it is failing in certain areas, it will be quite outlandish to say Nigeria has failed. And I'm speaking as a Nigerian that is based in Nigeria, that lives in Nigeria, that has family here, that has businesses here, a stakeholder in Nigeria. Because like Elnedan said here now, so if Nigeria has failed, what do you want to say about JRC? If Nigeria has failed, what do you want to say about Sudan? If Nigeria has failed, what do you want to say about Somalia? Even when we look at the Sahel, if you look at Mali, if you look at Chad, if you look at Niger, if you are saying Nigeria has failed, then what is happening in those places? And I particularly wanted to piggyback on that because I've seen, and I'm not generalizing here, because I checked his location, when he spoke. You see, people in diaspora sometimes they find it convenient to make some of all these statements, some of all these outlandish statements, and say this one has failed, that one has, this has happened. As if we are here, we should lose hope. So Nigeria has not failed. Nigeria is not a failed state. There are areas where we are failing. That I agree. Okay, I think I can see mindset.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sorry, I apologize for raising my hand. I wanted to address something, right? You see, whether somebody is in diaspora, whether somebody is in the moon, the person is a Nigerian, and they have every right to speak on the issue of Nigeria. And sorry, Roy, please, you see this laughing emoji, I've said it before, I don't condone to it. Allow Daniel his opinion, then we are going to respond to him. Now, there's something that happened a few days ago. I think Ola spoke about it on this platform. He traveled, right? He came to Nigeria, he traveled on the road, and he saw some things and everything. If Ola is speaking on this platform right now, somebody will say, oh, these diaspora people. But some persons that live in Nigeria did not experience what he experienced. So I think it's important for us to allow those, whether they live in the moon, the sun, or Jupiter, to air their view. I mean, you live in Nigeria does not mean you don't travel. Those that live outside Nigeria does not mean they don't come to Nigeria, right? That's the point I raised my hand for. But please continue with your submission, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Before I made that statement, I said I am not generalizing. That, however, some, and there's a reason why I'm saying that, and I will explain. If you are in a place, you have a stake in a place, your life depends on a place, the way you will approach issues will be different from somebody that is far from there. It's just logical. So, and before I made that statement, I also raised that caveat that I am not generalizing. I am just like using that maybe to explain the reason for your, the myopia of you, conclusively declaring that Nigeria is a failed state. Nigeria is not a failed state. And like I said, it is not based on argument. It's not based because I love Nigeria more than you. When a state has failed, there are certain boxes you must tick. Nigeria has not ticked all those boxes. Even in Africa, there are states that we can say has failed, right? Because they have ticked certain boxes. So yeah, what I actually wanted to comment on was, you see, and I'm using the statements of Adeboye just as, is it a footnote? Okay, maybe a footnote. And why am I saying this? And this is where I now agree with Elnathan. He said, it is possible for religious institutions to be strong and for the states to be also very strong. For states to do its work while religious institutions are complementing the work of the states. That means the state is not prostrate. The state is not incompetent. The state is fulfilling its role in providing security and welfare, because those are the two most paramount things, right? And for you to have strong institutions, yes. Now, what we have in Nigeria, and I also agree, is that because the state has failed, and when I'm saying the state now, government, you can use it interchangeably. Because the state has failed in comprehensively providing those things. People are now seeking succor with religion. Because the state has not earned enough trust from its people by doing what it is supposed to do. People are now seeking supernatural answers to what governance can provide. So, what state should do is to play its role while government complements. So in Nigeria, I will not blame the religious bodies for playing the role of the state where the state itself has abdicated those roles, because the incursion is not because the religious bodies are overreaching. It is because the state has abdicated those roles and the religious bodies, albeit incompetently, are not trying to fill those gaps. Now, that is why you see people, they travel abroad and your prayer point changes, because you now suddenly discover that some things that you pray for are what you should actually get if your country is working. So to that extent, I agree. However, where I disagree is where he said Saudi Arabia is a very bad example. It depends on how you evaluate success or good examples. For me, once you can provide welfare, right, and security, that is my most dominant metric of measuring what you are doing as a state. And of course, it's an absolute monarchy founded on sometimes when you are analyzing some of these states via the lens of democracy or via the lens of people having the right to choose their leaders, and we have also seen that people, the majority is not always right, people sometimes actually can choose the wrong leaders, right? When you are analyzing it through that lens, you will say, oh, maybe Saudi Arabia is not doing well. But if I want to analyze it by welfare, by security, by GDP per capita, by access to health, by access to education, well, if you conduct a census here in Nigeria and ask people, would you rather be a Saudi Arabian, would you rather be a Qatari or a Cameroonian who are also practicing democracy? I'm very sure even if you ask El Nadan here, you would rather go to Qatar or you rather go to UAE, because life is better there. Even as a Nigerian, if you ask a Nigerian, okay, you are practicing all this, what has it delivered? So the reason why I use those examples to demonstrate where what we have is more or less like a theocracy that has succeeded is to say that, it is what leaders want to do. I'm very sure maybe before we leave here today, somebody will use Singapore and some of all these places as an example. It was more or less, benevolent dictatorship. But are they better for you today? Yes, they are better. So for me, I analyze what the government is doing by its reflection on its people, on those two legs, primarily on security and welfare. So, and the reason why I am emphasizing on the role religion is playing is because even when you look at the insurgency in the north, there's a part religious explanation to it, because some of these marauders that are moving around are doing it by weaponizing religion. So the extent to which people can buy into certain agendas against their government, sometimes it is because the government has not earned their trust and the government has failed. So you see them seeking succor in religion, in militancy, sometimes even in social media, because you cannot explain our problems by only x-raying the people in power without analyzing the people with power. And whether you like it or not, our religious leaders hold a lot of power because they can influence our people. And like Mindset said, they can also influence people in government because of the number of people that they control. Now, but there's also something I would just want to correct or shed more light on that mindset said initially, and on that basis, after that, I will end my submission. You know, when America came with the Christian genocide narrative, you know, he said a lot of APC members, and I agree, though I was not one of them. People, what I said is documented. A lot of ABC members were saying, oh, America wants to come and carry our crude. And I was laughing then. What crude? Some people were saying it's because of Dangote. I told them America has far over times 10 of a refining capacity, right? They were saying those things. However, on the other side, you know, it was a contest of narratives. On the other side, some people were also talking about CIA agents. Some people were also saying that America will come and help them remove Tinubu. So that political agenda, you know, it was there. However, beyond what Bayo Onanuga said, or maybe what Daniel Bwala said when he was eating back at not Rubio now, this Cruz, what's that guy's name? That's that senator. What was the position of the government via the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? It is documented. They said we will collaborate. It is there. So if I want to look at the position of the government, I will look at the position of the ministry and the minister saddled with that responsibility. And what did the minister say? We have, in fact, they were not brash. They were very, very diplomatic. And I know, of course, I understand why they're diplomatic, you know, because Trump is a very flippant individual. They said we are going to collaborate. And indeed, they collaborated. And whether we like it or not, I will give it as a plus to the government because we've been able to turn lemon to lemonade. With that, now we have been able to secure, you know, a collaboration that is already yielding, that's already yielding fruits. So I think on that note, I will end my mic. Thank you very much, Mindset.
And thank you very much, Daniel. Gosh, there are so many hands up. I would have loved to respond to this thing that you said about Bayo Onanuga and Daniel Bwala. Respectfully, you are not factually correct in this, and I will tell you why. Because you said that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs responded to them. That was after things has, you know, the water has actually gone underneath the bridge, right? At the beginning of this whole thing, when Senator Ted Cruz started this thing. Now, the spokesperson of the president, who is the mouthpiece of the president, started bashing this individual. It would appear that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is bashing these people, right? And myself and some persons who was on this platform, we are saying, not all, that listen, the way these people are handling this thing is the wrong way. Yes, I agree with you. Sorry, apologies. That not all APC members, and as if you remember what I said, I didn't say all APC members. Unfortunately, you were not opportune for some reason to contribute on those particular topics, right? Now, when it gets to a point when the former minister, the former ambassador, forgot his name. Gosh, I wish somebody started speaking on. Gosh, I keep forgetting names. Said something on the interview on Arise TV, and he cautioned the president. He cautioned the spokesperson. I said, listen, you guys are handling this thing the wrong way. You guys are not handling this thing the right way. I spoke about it on this platform, and I commended him, right? And then, before you know it, the government, we are still playing, you know, ping pong with this whole thing. The time the ministry of Foreign Affairs responded, it has actually gotten to a place where it's whether we are going to be declared CPC or what have you, right? But before then, the thing was very clear to the blind that this is where these people are heading to. Okay? Let me leave it at that, and maybe we'll come back to that. Please, I don't want to hog the mic. Daniel, do you want to respond quickly so I can pass the mic to the next speaker?
Okay, yeah, just give me 1 minute to respond. Yeah, thank you for being so gracious. So, you know, I agree with you. Ted Cruz and some guys were speaking. That was not the position of the American government at that point. They were talking. Bayo Onanuga was, of course, they responded. But at the point that Trump tweeted, the Secretary of War also spoke. the Ministry of Foreign Affairs responded on behalf of the government, because I don't think I will expect the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to be responding to what Ted Cruz is just saying at that point. So at the point that the president, that Trump tweeted, and the Secretary of War, I've forgotten I think Eggert, or what's his name, started talking, at that point, the Nigerian government also made this position known via the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, they said, we are going to collaborate, we are going to talk to, we are going to talk to the US. So for me, that is the timeline. When Bayo Mnonga was speaking, in fact, let me even say this, I will not mention the name. After Trump tweeted, there's one of the spokespersons that also tweeted certain things. He actually deleted it. Right? I don't want, but people that know, he actually deleted it later. Right? But at that point, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs took over and their position is documented. Yeah, mindset. Thank you very much.
Daniel, you're pushing this thing, you know. Seriously, you want us to, you see, this is my...
Let us open another space later.
Okay. This area you're heading to is my playground, because when you talked about when you responded and everything, that shows that the government is incompetent, because the bill was introduced in September. I think it was 9th of September, right? 2025. Then if you're telling me that the presidency have no idea and they didn't do anything about it, that tells you everything we need to know, that this government is not competent enough to lead this country. So we waited for America to respond before the ministry would respond. The moment that bill came on board, you heard about that bill, you started negotiating, you started speaking. This is what politics is all about. And Daniel, you know this. But like you rightly said, let's leave this particular conversation for another space, and I promise you guys we're going to revisit it. Thank you very much, Daniel, for your wonderful contribution as always. Is it Pieman or Lahu's going next? Please, somebody help me out. It's Pieman, right?
Yeah. It's,
okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, Mindset. Good morning, Daniel, and everyone on the space. Nice conversation this morning again, as always. I would just make my own opinion just for a few minutes so I don't hog the mic for a long time. And a couple of persons have actually more like mentioned some of the things that are actually on my mind, because like Ernetta actually mentioned earlier, I feel like the reason why, so I'll start from the religious part of Nigeria. The reason why most of us in Nigeria actually transfer our own responsibility, our civic responsibility to our spiritual leaders is because the government have actually failed, right? And it didn't start under Bola Tinubu's government. Let no APC, let no other political party get me wrong. I don't think it started under Bola Tinubu government, because even before Bola Tinubu came into power, most of our politicians have actually used the church, or even the spiritual, let me not even use the church, the spiritual venues as places where they go for campaign. We can go on from different denominations, whether you're a Catholic, whether you're Anglican, whether you're Pentecostal, whether you're even a Muslim. We've seen that time and time again. If I bring an issue of a clip of Kadibu, somebody will tell you of Father Mbaka, somebody will tell you of Father Ebubuagu, somebody will tell you of one other Pentecostal pastor. So we have clips, we have a lot of materials to use. But then the real question is, why exactly are we, transferring our own rights? Because as a human, as somebody who actually believes in God, I'm a Catholic, born and bred Catholic. I have a spiritual father. I have those who lead me spiritually. I have a reverend father that talks to me, that I can listen to. But there are still some things I disagree with him on. In fact, in things that concerns the Catholic Church, some of the Catholic doctrines, I tell him, no, I can't. You can't tell me to do this when I can do this. For example, now the Catholic Church frowns at what's it called, IVF. But I am of the opinion that if it's an option for me, I would gladly do it. But the church frowns at it. I have an opinion of my own. So if my church or my spiritual leader is telling me, okay, this is what you should do, and I think, in my own opinion, if I want a baby so desperately, I can easily go for IVF. It's an option for me. Why are you saying the church is against it? So what then option is the church giving me as an option? The church is saying, okay, keep praying because the Christ wants, naturally. And I'm saying, no, IVF is an option. If I've been married for a certain number of years and I want a baby, I'll go for it. That's an option. That's my own personal conviction. But I don't think a lot of Nigerians do have this, this conviction, because they believe, and I don't blame them, because it is where the government actually puts a lot of us. When things that the government should naturally be doing for us, the church is taking responsibility. That person who is taking responsibility naturally becomes my Lord and Savior. Whatever you told me to do is what I will do. And that is why these politicians already know when it's time for election, you see them going for crusade, you see them going to churches, you see them dragging individuals to themselves. And when I woke up this morning, I saw that Pastor Adeboye's clip trending everywhere. It doesn't concern me, it doesn't bother me, because if Pastor Adeboye comes to tell me as a member of RCCG that you must vote for Tinubu, if I think Tinubu is not fit enough, I will not vote for him now. But if Tinubu has not done what he's supposed to do for me, and Pastor Adeboye is doing what Tinubu is supposed to do for me, it's whatever it tells me to do that I will do. And that's how it has been for years. That's how it has been for years. And in reality, I don't think anybody should tell you that the country is not even safe at this point in time. I don't think anybody that should tell you that in terms of security, the current government is not doing well. I don't think anybody should come and, I don't think you need a general overseer or a pope to come tell you that in terms of security, the government is not doing so well. So this is you transferring your belief, what you are seeing. Because I am convinced that if I walk on the street today in Nigeria, anything can happen to me. That's my personal conviction. It's because of what I have seen. It's because of what I know. So when we get all of these things, it's not, I don't think it's, for me personally, I don't think it's a worry. And that's the mindset I want a lot of Nigerians to actually come up with. Because if you know that you are convinced about something, you don't need anybody to tell you otherwise. And I also heard some persons compare the present government to, this is my own opinion again, I feel like the style of democracy we copied from those who actually colonized us, or the style of democracy we are practicing in Nigeria, is totally different from what we see. And I heard somebody mention those who stay in diaspora. The reason why most people who stay in diaspora actually talk about these things they talk about is because they have seen democracies or style of government that has actually been quite open. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, if we are practicing the correct style of democracy, I think the current government is supposed to honorably resign, just leave power. Why? So recently, we saw the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluyemi Tinubu, come out to make some statements, and it was all over social media. Akara, this and that and that. Everybody started talking about it. And then, while I have also sat down to analyze the statement or the comment she made, I personally saw no reason for all of those outrage. But when I was discussing with a staunch member of the APC, he was of the opinion that the only reason why Nigerians are annoyed with that statement is not because of the statement itself, it's because of the individual who made that statement. And I said to him, I said, just take a look at that, what you just said now. Nigerians are not happy with the person who made the statement. Who made the statement? It was made by the wife of the president. Now, Bao Naduga also went to Arise the other day. That also caused a lot of outrage on social media. Nigerians are not also happy with the person who is making the statement. It's not as though they don't agree with the statement. They agree, but they're not happy. It tells you something. It tells you that Nigerians are not happy with the government. If they're not happy with the spokesperson of the president, they're not happy with the president, they're not happy with the wife of the president, it tells you that they are not happy with the government. They are not happy with the president. So you can't be leading those that are not happy with you. It's just like you are tying rope around their neck and then you're forcing them that you must lead them. If they're not happy with you, turn your back and go let another person fill in the position. And that is why it now goes back to my initial statement of we are not practicing the right style of government. Just a few days ago, we saw the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He honorably resigned. He didn't kill anybody, not as though he stole any money, but the sentiment on the street is that the people are no longer happy with his government. And if he goes into any general election at this point in time, because of course it's free and fair, he will lose. And he honorably resigned. But can we say the same of Nigeria? No. Even though you know that the people are not happy with your government, you are still forcing yourself. You want to go into the next general election. Why? Because we are not practicing the correct style of government, correct style of democracy. You know that if you go into the next general election, it will not be free and fair, either by hook or crook. You will still continue being there. And that's the difference between those in the diaspora and those in Nigeria. The realities are different. I can be in my house today and vote for whoever I want to vote for in the next general election. But in Nigeria, I have to go there and line up and do all of them. You already know who will win. So that's the difference. And I feel if we practice the right style of government, I think a lot of these things we roll to the churches or to the mosques for. We will get it. We will get it right. Insecurity in Nigeria, it's been overflogged. We already know how can the bandits, oh, my side, I see your hands up. Okay, let me just pause here.
No. You can't pause. It's just an indication for you to round up. So just right. So you can't just, when I raise my hand, you just pause. I mean, this is not a military barrack. Hello, where is the?
Okay.
Please, yeah, please. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Let me just wrap up in 30 seconds, because this morning I saw the head of one of the bands. I can't remember his name right now. It was Instablog posted it, and I was like, what's the meaning of this? In that code, it was like they said that any a governor can be kidnapped, a politician can be kidnapped, anybody can be kidnapped. The head of one of these guys said it. It was quoted right on Instablog. I'm like, the audacity for these guys to come out and say such a thing. And then you need a spiritual leader, you need a godfather. So I think we should just leave. Adeboye is just one human being. He has a mind of his own. If he comes out to say, I'm supporting APC tomorrow, I don't think anybody will kill him for it. Nobody will do anything to him. We will just shout and shout. But you need to have your mind of your own. And I think I will just wrap it all up here. Thank you so much, myself, for the opportunity once again.
All right, thank you, Paramount, for your contribution. It's good that you have a mind of your own, and that's exactly what we want everyone to do. But then again, those that believe in their pastors or leaders, religious leaders, good luck to you guys. The reason why I host spaces like this is just for us to learn from one another. Now, I will go back, please permit me, guys, I will go back to 2020. Something happened, and this is why what the religious leader said, we have to take it seriously. It's just not something we just say it doesn't matter. We always make reference to the case in Imo State that has to do with, we always call out the judiciary, rightly so. What the judiciary did in Imo State, somebody came forth, and then they came, before you know it, they became the governor. There are some things that happen, and religion played a part to it, and I will explain. Okay? One of the things that APC as a political party did was to use a so-called man of God. I'm calling his name right, Father Mbaka, with his prophecy. He started the nonsense that he said. That was part of the thing. Please, as I've always said, I can have a space on this particular topic because I know what I know. He started prophesying, hope is coming back and what have you, right? He started giving people that clue that, listen, this is what will happen. So when the judiciary turned everything around and said one policeman came with a result in the polling state, which doesn't make sense. The judgment of Hope Uzodima's the Imo State election is just laughable like every other thing. That's right. But what they did was to set the tone with the prophecy of Father Mbaka. And everybody, some people don't even know about this. And everybody, queue in line, okay, the prophecy has gone forth. So when the judiciary did what they did, the rest they say is history. But one thing that happened to Father Mbaka that I'm very happy happened to him was when he thought helping APC would be enough for him to get contracts. And then they let Buhari's spokesperson expose him and said, listen, if you do more, we expose more. Because why didn't, at the point, he just quietly, respectfully get out. He was out of the way because he didn't want him to expose what he did. So when we talk about the power that these people, the pastors and the imams or what have you, they have a lot of power. And we as a people must be able to make up our mind, are we going to allow these things to continue? Thank you, guys. On that note, can see, Ola, you raise your hand, then we'll go to Onyeka.
Hi, Mindset. It's just a quick suggestion. I know you have repeatedly been saying how it's not proper for people to put up the laughing emoji when they hear something that they don't agree with. Maybe people could adopt there's a thumbs up and thumbs down emoji. Yes, you encourage free speech without people going over the board. But yes, if people hear something they don't agree with, rather than laugh about it, they could either do a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you very much. I mean, I agree with that. I don't have a problem. People use thumbs up and thumbs down, then that's okay. But when somebody is speaking and you're laughing, I just think it's very, I don't know how to explain myself. I mean, it doesn't sit well with me, right? Are you saying the person is talking nonsense? Or I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. It's just nothing funny. You can disagree with the person and give them reasons. You can use a thumb down and thumbs up. But thank you very much. Who else do we have? Onyeka, the mic is here, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning, myself. And every other person on the speaker session. There is a particular point that I just wanted to comment on, although a couple of people have said things about it, but I will still just chip it in and say other things. And I don't agree with Pastor Adeboye that the president has done his bit. Yeah, I mean, is subject to further clarification or explanation, or to his own interpretation, what he means by beat. But I stand to be corrected. The security situation in the country now is, I'm not a security expert, but I think that the security situation in the country now is the worst I have seen in Nigeria. Because while when Goodluck Jonathan and the rest of people are still in government, the security situation is more concentrated. But now it is more widespread. Because we keep talking about, oh, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP, and the rest of it. That is because that is the one that is getting the international attention, like America. Or how about somebody like me that is from the Southeast, where we have pockets of worrying security situations where people are not sleeping with their 2 eyes closed. And Nigeria is a country of 36 states. And every region needs equal attention. That is not to say that the president is deliberately ignoring the Southeast. What I'm saying, that I think it's a matter of the publicity that is being given. Other regions are also facing security situations where their properties and their lives are not properly protected. And I think the advent of, or the would-be advent of state police might provide more. But I don't agree. I agree with Pastor Adeboye. Why? Because I actually respect him. While I actually respect him, I don't agree with him. And for Mr. Bayo Nanuga, with due respect to him, if I am one of the president handlers, I would have advised that he stay away from the public. I was speaking for the presidency, because every time he goes to the TV stations, he embarrasses himself and embarrasses the presidency. Most often than not, he embarrasses the president. He sounds very insensitive, and he sounds out of touch with reality. I think it's my brother, Mr. Pai. He talks about that people don't like the president. Exactly. While I agree that a lot of people, we have freedom of opinion, because if you go by the INEC results in 2023, it shows that Tinubu, among the popular candidates currently, Tinubu has the highest number. If you go by the INEC official results among the popular candidates, so which obviously shows that he has his supporters, and the opinion of those his supporters must be respected. So that is why I'm saying that, just to chip this in, the idea, because I've seen the First Lady come out this morning to double down on what she said and say she's going to empower tomato sellers and the rest of it. I will not in good conscience come and say people that are doing petty business should not be empowered. Yes, I can agree that, say, okay, because she's the person that said it, people don't like it, or people don't like it when she said it. but empowering of tomato sellers, akara sellers, or whatever petty business. That is a welcome development. And okay, mindset, I can see your hand there.
No, thank you, Onyeka. I don't want to digress into that akara business, and I want to focus. I mean, there are three things I'm going to focus on to this election: insecurity, INEC, and judiciary. If there's any other thing, yes, but you know, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I know I just saw somebody I just wanted, but I think I agree with you. So the main issue is that I have someone, I can't remember the person, talking about how religious leaders, because it's just the same thing, because we're talking about Pastor Adeboye, how religious leaders have some sort of overbearing influence on the what is happening in the society. You see, the issue is that each country has their own peculiarities. What is happening in Saudi Arabia, America, UK, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, or the other, but it's not the same thing. So people give their opinion or drive opinions based on their personal experience or the realities in the environment where they find themselves in. Because if you say in the United Kingdom, I think that particular person gave instances like the United Kingdom and say that the Archbishop of Canterbury did not is not giving up. That's not correct to the best of my knowledge, because the Archbishop of Canterbury has been giving opinions on germane issues in the United Kingdom. And I can also argue that Nigeria and the UK, they are in different phases of development. Why, yes, we are in is it AI age now? We are in different phases of development, because I can remember that the abdication of King Edward the Eighth has a lot to do with the opinion of the Archbishop of Canterbury in 1936. The sister of Queen Elizabeth and Princess Margaret, in fact, when he wanted to marry Peter Townsend, the former equerry of King George VI, has something to do with the opinion of the Archbishop. In fact, it was the Archbishop of the Canterbury that insisted that she will lose her royal rights if she go ahead to marry Peter Townsend. In fact, the issue between the current king, when he was still a prince, King Charles, and Camilla, had a lot of things to do with the Archbishop of Canterbury. And so, yes, why I agree. And you see, they keep giving opinions. And you see, religious leaders or even NGOs or concerned groups, they always give opinion based on those issues that concern them. Based on those issues that concern them. Because if you talk about Christian genocide as a topic, because that is a very strong security issue in Nigeria as a topic. If Pastor Adeboye come and gives his opinion on that, I don't see anything wrong with that. So if you talk about insecurity as it affects Nigerians, which 50% of Nigerians or thereabouts are Christians, I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, it now depends on the kind of people that follow Pastor Adeboye, or the kind of people that listen to him and pay attention to him. Okay, so Nigeria is quite different from the United Kingdom. While I have a little bit of issue with what my brother Mr. Daniel talked about, we should look at Niger, look at Burkina Faso, look at saying that Nigeria is not a failed state. I agree, but saying that Burkina Faso, are we trying to compare Nigeria with? Why not compare Nigeria with Germany? Why not compare Nigeria with China? Why not compare Nigeria with even Indonesia or Singapore? Why not compare Nigeria with United Kingdom in terms of strengthening the institutions that confers a country with that particular appellation of whether it's a failed state or not? Because if you begin to compare Nigeria with Sahelian states, while they are our neighbors, I agree. I don't think we are aiming high. But me, I don't have any issue with whatever influence the religious leaders have in terms of our security or whatever issue at all. The British Heart Foundation, coming back to the British Heart Foundation, Age UK, These are charity or other charity organizations, for example. They always come in and give their opinions on germane issues, immigration, healthcare.
It appears we've lost him.
Seems so.
Okay. Roy, you raised your hand earlier on. Please go ahead. Hello? Can somebody help out? Am I still audible?
Yes, you are, Mindset.
Mindset, you are audible.
Okay. Roy, you raised your hand earlier on. It appears Roy is no longer on the platform, right? And Nathan, you raised your hand earlier on. Okay, so then that will take us to...
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, then that will go to Douglas.
No, I mean, there are just a couple of issues. I mean, you know, I don't think that there is any, when it has to do with the influence of religion in Nigeria, I mean, we've only seen, especially in the past few decades, negative effect, whether you're looking at Islam, or you're looking at Christianity, same. But the issue is not whether or not they should have an opinion. Anybody can have an opinion anywhere in the world. The issue is where the influence of the church replaces state institutions, right? And so even when we're talking about the UK, of course, the Archbishop of Canterbury will have an issue about the king, because the king, you know, is the head of the Church of England, and the Archbishop is also a member of the Church of England. So that's a completely different issue. They're not debating the budget. They're not debating whether or not people can come into the country or not. They're discussing issues that have to do with them. The status of the king is particular church business, because the person who actually is in charge of that ceremony is the Archbishop. So, in fact, it's very clear that that's a completely different thing from what we're talking about in Nigeria. We're talking about an absence of state institutions that is now filled by religious leaders. And it's the same in the North, for example. It's not just about the church. It's not about Adeboye himself per se. He's, like I said, he's a symptom. He's what happens when, you know, people are uneducated, people don't have jobs. Then you have millions of people calling this man daddy, of course. Same in the mindset. Is your hand up, or is it just my app?
I think it's from your side. I mean, hold your thought a minute. Hold your thought a minute, because you've asked that question 3 times. So, those on the speaker section, please, can you see my hand up? Am I raising my hands?
Your hand's no, you're not. Your hand is not raised.
No, so okay. Nathan is from your end. So
all right. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, so I was saying that the same is true for Islam in the North. There are religious leaders that have such an influence that what happens is that when the government needs to do something, they become afraid of these leaders. And so they rely on those leaders not doing crazy things. Because I can list 3 or 4 Muslim leaders who, if they want to cause trouble today and make 5-6 states ungovernable, they can, because of how many people follow them, right? You know, it's the same for when Gumi was alive, not the child, the father. It's the same for the large number of following that, which is good, but if the state was working, we would not have people able to summon people to the streets like this. You know, not to like protest nicely, but to cause trouble. We're lucky that many of these people don't actually do that. We're lucky that Adeboye doesn't do that. We're lucky that when Sheikh Dahir Usman Bauchi was alive, he didn't do that. But how long will we remain lucky? It takes one crazy person to show up and turn this upside down. So this is why it's not in anybody's interest to have any religious leader that has that amount of power. You know, it's good to have symbolic power, but you need a state also that says, we are the state. We run institutions. We are elected by the people, and it is to the people that we are accountable, and we can be removed as the democracy sort of demands. And the last thing I will say is I think that often, and as somebody who has lived both in Nigeria and abroad, we often hear people, say, oh, people are abroad, people are... You see, the thing is, there are two sides to this. There were times when I realized that I needed to live abroad to understand the depth of problems that were in Nigeria. The reverse is also the case, that there are times when being abroad can blindside you to things, but none of these two people have the complete picture, right? Many of us abroad, you know how much we are paying every month for people's school fees? So we actually feel the pinch. We know exactly the state of the economy because the amount of money you pay as black tax increases as the government fails. We are also paying ransom fees, by the way, because our relatives are also being kidnapped. So that thing that you are struggling with, the guy abroad is not, you are not special, right? The guy abroad is also paying. He's paying for lots of people. He is not able to enjoy what his colleagues, and his colleague will get 5,000 euros a month if he's lucky. He gets 5,000 euros. Of those 5,000 euros, he's sending 3,000 euros back home. If his family member is kidnapped, he's the first person they will talk to. If the roof is leaking, he's the first person they will talk to. If people are out of a job, he's the first person they will talk to. So I think that the people abroad cannot look down on the people in Nigeria. The people in Nigeria also cannot think that the people abroad don't have skin in the game, because we all have skin in the game. And sometimes you need distance to be able to realize how rotten things are in the country. That's it, mindset.
Thank you, Nathan, for your contribution. Daniel, I can see you raise your hand. Yusuf and Afolabi. Please, let's pass the mic to Douglas. I believe that's the right the person, right?
Yeah, my name is Douglas actually, but it's Doggy.
Okay, Doggy. It sounds quite interesting. So when somebody said Doggy, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I get that always, but it's actually my government. It's actually my government.
Oh wow,
so
that's interesting. Okay, good morning. The mic is
yeah,
yours.
my name is Douglas, and when I was in school, when I was in secondary school, they were mocking me with the name, so I took the name and I stand with it till date. So it's there to stay. Although it's the short form of Douglas, so I mean, not ill-intended. Thank you. Good morning, mindset, and good morning, everybody on the speaker section and the listener section. Let me start somewhere. I think I'm happy that we're even talking about these people in the diaspora and what have you. Because I don't know if there's anybody on this app that have gotten that you cannot speak because you are not in Nigeria, because you are abroad. And sometimes I will be in a space hosted by somebody abroad. The people that I'm arguing with are abroad, but immediately I air my opinion. My opinion is now denied because of my location, even when the people I'm talking with or against are also not in Nigeria. So I hope that this outreach on people that are abroad, that it will go around and then be accorded to everybody, and not just the people that were saying the things we like to say or would like to hear. But on the flip side, yes, I'm in abroad, yeah, but many of us that are abroad, we often exaggerate things and say things out of proportion because of possibly where we are, how we want things to be, and even sometimes say utopian things, like things that is not even happening in the place we are. Before I continue on that, Oni, I don't know whether it was comprehension or I don't know what it is, in case you're still listening. When Mr. Daniel talked about the failed states, I don't know why you want him to be using Germany and China when he was talking about failed states. So it would have been noble for him to point out the failed states and not the states that are not failed. He was not making comparison with Nigeria or any other country. He was saying this country is a failed state. If you say Nigeria is failed, this one, what will you say about it? So he will not be pointing at the ones that have not failed, rather be pointing to the ones that have failed, so that you get the distinction between a failed state and a non-failed state. So using a non-failed state to make that comparison at that particular point in time, I don't know what you want to get from that. That on that apart. Actually, why I took the mic was when the P man was talking. The P man or the Pi man. Sorry, I don't want to murder your name. I don't know how to pronounce it. And you said something quite interesting, which I totally disagree with. That the kind of democracy we practice is not compared to any other place. I don't want to quote you wrong. I don't want to quote you verbatim, but that's actually what I understood from that. That because the president is not liked, the wife is not liked, the administration is not liked, and everything should be the reason for the president to resign. And I was thinking about that statement, and I saw anti-democratic statement from that, because democracy gives you the right to lead as far as you are chosen by your people. And I don't know the place I don't know whether you're in Nigeria or in diaspora, I don't know whether you are Canada, USA, whatever. The former, is it president or prime minister of Canada? At the time, they were insulting him like I don't know what, like it was back-to-back insults to Trudeau. Meaning his people did not like him, but he never resigned. The mother of democracy, the father of democracy, the uncle, the auntie, the parent of democracy in the whole wide world today, which is America, USA. The president, Donald Trump. Many Americans don't like him. Before he even make a tweet, there's already attack on that tweet. People are even slapping people on the street for supporting Trump. Trump hasn't resigned. Trump is here to resign. So if you conspire a theory in your head, don't lay it as fact. Deliver it as a conspired theory so that people understand what you're saying. But when you come and deliver it as a fact, you start misleading people that are listening to you, because they will go on the other side and regurgitate exactly what you have said to be fact. That because somebody is not liked, he should resign. I don't know the country it is happening. In UK, they have a culture of their prime ministers always resigning. This is not the first one that resigned. It seems it's their culture. Many in the last 10 years, in the last 20 years, minimum of 5 of their prime ministers have resigned. But is it like that any other place? Is it the practice you have in Turkey, in Canada, in Japan, in Russia, in USA? Is it the culture? Is it the practice? No, is the answer. So that somebody is not liked as a leader, which in many countries, the leaders are not always liked. It is hard to actually find a country where they love their president that so much. The government is often hated by the people. So that is not a benchmark to say resign because people don't like you. Then moreover, people who don't like what Adebayo said, it is their right. That's democracy actually. But using it to trample on religious bodies, I think that's where I see the hypocrisy, because I have seen many traditional leaders that have come out to vent their anger on the insecurity and the things that are happening. Oh, Nigeria is a failed state, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, you cannot. These are religious leaders that are speaking. When they say that kind of thing, you like it, you align with it, you don't get mad. Who asked you to talk? Why are you talking? You're a religious leader, focus on your thing because you like what they say. And the other person come and say what you don't like, then use it as a case study to start attacking the religious body. If you will accept the positive that they said, you also have to accept okay, you must not accept the negative that they say anyway, but that should not give you the right then to then start fighting the religious body altogether. I don't think it makes sense. It does not make sense to me. I may say I don't like what you said, okay, but then to put the whole religious body, they should mind their business. If they should mind their business on this particular one, they should also mind their business on the other one. It means that none of them should, whenever they say anything about the country, we should not wave it off. You don't have the right to talk about here. Focus on your religiosity. Do what you're doing. I, on my own, I think this administration have done quite well about insecurity. Is it enough? No. Do we see the result? No. I mean, like, Is the problem solved? No. Has it quelled the insecurity? No. But does that mean that I have not done enough? They have done enough, only that the enough is not enough to stop the problem. If I check the budget, which they have increased, if I check the emolument of the military, of the military personnel, which they have increased, if I check the weapons that they have bought, the investment they have done in weapons being fabricated and being manufactured in Nigeria and everything, the equipment they are buying and everything, I will even say with my both chest here now, the famous yacht that people have been using to mock the president and everything, it was actually for security. It is a naval ship bought to fight insecurity. Somebody went, misplaced it, used it to push agenda, and everybody started moving on it. Nobody made a research or to find out what that boat ship is actually for. Nobody did. I did. And that is why, like I have my, thank God the last person that spoke. Yeah, I think second to the last person, if I'm not mistaken. I have my mindset. I'm not easily influenced by what people say or anything. When anything is going out, when something is trending, I go and make my research about that particular thing. And when I made my research, I found out, oh, this is actually a naval ship. I applauded it because it's for the insecurity that we're crying about. I don't know why somebody who is actually interested in insecurity and one insecurity stopped will be crying about a naval ship that is used to fight insecurity. I don't know why. So, I mean, if I check the investment they have done and to fight insecurity, the weaponry and everything, and how intense they are fighting this insecurity at this moment, the number of terrorists that have killed, the number of terrorists that have arrested, the ones that have been prosecuted and jailed, I see that they are doing something. Should they do more? Far more. I want them to do far more. I want the security to stop. But coming here with good faith to say they have not done anything or they have not done enough, I will never do that. Thank you, Mindset.
Thank you very much, Douglas. Permit me, sir. I think that's much better for me to address you as Douglas, if that's okay with you, for your contribution. I agree with you that the government has done well in terms of persecuting these terrorists. I think quite a number of them have been persecuted. So I think I agree with you. I commend the government on that. However, in terms of you saying that they have done well in other aspects of curbing insecurity, I disagree, because the amount of kidnapping in Nigeria now, I don't think we have such in the terms of Buhari. This is not me praising Buhari, please. I just want us to be very clear, right? Right. So I always commend the president, the government, where I believe they have done well. I would disagree that they have not done well in that regard. I mean, yesterday there was kidnapping in Bauchi State, there were kidnapping in Zamfara State, there were kidnapping in Borno State. Good thing the Nigerian troops, the Nigerian military, went in and they were able to rescue 10 out of 11 students. Unfortunately, one teacher lost his or her life. I think it's his life, right? So the government need to sit up. Why a lot of people are not comfortable with what Pastor Adeboye said is because pastors, imams, religious leaders, they have a voice, and whatever they say, for some reason, their followers buy into it. Now, if he's saying to Nigerians or to his support or to his followers that the man has done a bit, that has done his bit, it's highly unlikely that some of his supporters will say, yeah, we're going to disagree with Papa, or we're going to disagree with our Father in the Lord, right? This is the thing. So I think we have to balance this up. The government needs to do more. It is important they do more. Now, you spoke about, sorry, Douglas, I can see you raise your hand, please. Let me respond, please. Thank you. You spoke about people bashing religious leaders. There is one particular one. I don't know if it's anybody's pastor or anybody's this thing. The one that at a point, he said that Liverpool would lose the game. Can somebody remember that one? sorry, the Liverpool will beat some.
Ayodele or something.
You see that one? Sorry, with respect to some of you on this platform who followed him, would somebody not tell me that that one is a religious leader? Is somebody who one would take serious? He was just that day saying Liverpool will win the game and all kinds of things. He would just cook things up. I use the word cook things up. Yes, I'm saying it. They Ayodele won, right? So we have to be very careful. But then again, if you're his supporter, that day he said that Liverpool would beat that particular team. Perhaps if you're interested in gambling, I'm not saying you should, then you will use your last ₦1 and go and play, believing that Liverpool will win and Liverpool will win or Liverpool will lose. And it happened the other way. He come back and give you some stories, and then you start to defend it. We have to be very mindful. But one thing I love about us as a people is that Nigeria is a very interesting state, a country. You know, there's a way you push Nigerians. At a point, they will say to you, listen, enough of this. We have our mind. This thing you're doing is saying we are not going to accept it. So have an open mind. Respect your religious leaders, but have an open mind. It is that important. Right? I can see your hand up, Douglas. I think you want to respond to me. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much for being gracious enough to give me one more disclaimer. I don't take religious leaders serious. No matter what they say, I discard it immediately they say it. All of them, whether they say positive or negative, I discard whatever they say. I don't take them serious. It's not even only Ayodele or Adeboye or Baka or Bomonso, or even the late TB Joshua. They made many prophecies that never worked. So I don't take them serious. What I'm saying in effect is, if they say Nigeria is a failed state, insecurity is killing us, we applaud him. Oh my God, yeah, that is good. And another one say, no, the president have done well. Oh, the religious leaders should mind their business. We can discard what Adeboye said. Say, Adeboye, what you're saying is not true, but not attacking the religious body if we will agree with what one said. So if we hold that religious body sacred to agree with some, we may disagree with one person or two persons that have said something, but not attacking religious body because of what one religious person have said. Another thing is, Adeboye has his mindset. He evaluates the best possible way for him. So if he come out and say X, Y, Z, that is his opinion. Whether his believers, his followers believe in it or not, the one that is also saying negative is also influencing his followers as well. Mind you, sometimes they are not even factual in the things they say because they don't have the whole information about these things. So they say things out of their own emotions, and we agree sometimes with some of them. They say things we like. We disagree with the settings we don't like, and it should be on disagreeing with that thing because we don't like it, not because that. I mean, like what I'm saying is we shouldn't be attacking the religious body because we don't like one thing one specific person said. Me, myself, anything religious leaders say, I discard it. I don't take it. I don't like it. I don't want to have it. I don't believe in them. They lie a lot. All of them from A to Z. There's an exception of none. The only one I even like is Odumeje because he's doing comedy, and I see it as comedy, and he's unique in what he's doing. I don't see it as religious, somebody that's giving me spirituality or anything. That's why I like him. But the other ones, I mean, like, sorry. All other ones, no matter what it is that they say, I don't think it's serious. And that is me. And I discard all of them, whether they say positive or negative. I don't take it serious. So if you are like me, that when they say insecurity is plaguing Nigeria, you agree. One say, oh, the president have done much. Oh, the religious bodies. Then you start attacking the whole religious body. Whereas you agreed yesterday with the same religious body. That's where I see the hypocrisy. So I just want to make you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that what Adeboye said must be accepted by everybody or everybody. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he should be criticized based on what he said if you don't agree with him, but not the entire religious body, because there are many of them that are saying things we like and we agree with the same religious body. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. It's getting interesting. I'm really enjoying the conversation. Now, the reason why it's important that we have to be mindful with these religious bodies, if you believe in them, the good luck to you. If you choose not to believe in them, good luck to you. They can influence the outcome of election, right? Prior to 2023 election, there was one, I forgot, I think Sheikh Jingi, somebody needs to correct me, please. I don't want to, the one that said that they have decided to vote for Tinubu. He's still campaigning for Tinubu, but I think sometime earlier this year, he said that he would not support Bola Tinubu again if Bola Tinubu drops Shetima, right? He's a very influential sheikh in the, in Islam, right? Now, someone like that, it's going to be difficult for his followers not to vote for Bola Tinubu if let's say Bola Tinubu decide to drop Shetima, because he have told them, even if they want to, they are not going to do it. Even if they believe that Bola Tinubu has done well, they are not going to do it. That is my problem, right? Even if they believe Bola Tinubu has stopped insecurity, but let's say he decided, one thing, I just think the vice president has done well with me. I think it's time to find someone else. He's saying it publicly. I'm not going to support you. It's not only speaking for himself. He's speaking, the voice of his followers, be it 1 million people, be it 500,000. They're not going to vote for him, even if he has done everything. So religion is good, but we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very careful. Who else do we have? I'll follow up. The mic is yours.
Good morning, Mindset. Yeah, interesting conversation, religion and Nigerian politics. I mean, the way I see it, I think both of the dominant religions in Nigeria are equally as bad as each other. I mean, we have in 2023 when the church was pushing a particular candidate, not necessarily based on competence, but just because he's a Christian. And most recently as well, we had the Supreme Council of Sharia asking for the president to remove the INEC chairman. So I don't know what their heavy involvement in politics has done for the country. The country is still ravaged by poverty, both north and down south. So I think I think it's important that Nigerians should not necessarily, allow these religions to shape their opinion, because it has not done any good for the country. So that aside. But in terms of what Pastor Adeboye said as regards to security, if he wasn't a pastor, that's I honestly, it's my own opinion as well. I 100% agree with it. I mean, the president is not going to wear khaki and go and fight insurgency in the bush, except maybe next election we should vote in Rambo as the president of the country. And when somebody said, Jonathan won khaki and went to Borno, what happened afterwards? We still had more insecurity. So I think the problem of this administration is communication. There seems to be quite a lot of arrogancy sometimes when they communicate and speak to Nigerians. I mean, they're not doing Nigerians a favor. It's the result of the reward of hard work is more work. But ultimately, Nigerians should not look to religion to shape their opinion, because it has not done the country any good. And that's just my own final submission myself.
Thank you very much, Afolabi. Thank you. You said something that I wholeheartedly agree with you. One of the problems, you said the problem, but I will rephrase my own. One of the problems with this present government is their arrogance and the way they speak and the way they, the manner they handle things. I agree with you. And that would take me back to what I was discussing with Daniel earlier on. Daniel is no longer on the platform. It was Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs. He was on Arise TV. Ola, you remember, right? We spoke about it, and I think you were on the platform that day. So he was literally telling the government, the way you're handling this thing is the wrong way. I can actually go back and look for some of the things that he said, right? The guy, because Bayo Nonoga, Daniel Boala, and the rest of them, they were just putting out tweets, going on Channels TV, Arise TV, whatever TV, talking ill of Trump, talking ill of Senator Ted Cruz and everything. Nobody wants to listen. Professor Balaji went on Arise TV and he schooled them. He said, this is diplomacy. This is not something you deal with name callings. You need to be able to speak to this man. He's not coming here to hurt you. Find a way to collaborate with him, right? I don't want to bore anybody, but I want you to go back and put his name on Google. Then you'll be able to listen, or you can find those on Arise TV. That was, when this whole thing was heating up. Then the government started by maybe they listened to him and listened to other persons who spoke and say, you're not going to fight Trump with name callings. And so I agree with you. The way and manner they handle things is the reason they are where they are. Even if there is an improvement, the way they put out the message and everything, they need to work on that. Maybe you can help them. Thank you very much, Afolabi, for your contribution. Nathan, the mic is yours.
Yeah, okay. So I think that there are two things that may be overlapping here. So first, I think I agree with you, Mindset, when you talk about the power of these people who claim to hear the voice of God. But even when I say that I don't think any decent society should have these kind of people having the kind of influence they have, the reality is that they do. So for example, in the North, when we were having these polio cases coming back, we had achieved the milestone of actually defeating polio. Like we got to a point where we had 0 new cases. And all of a sudden polio came back, And one of the problems is that we had clerics in the North who were telling people that the vaccine was actually hurting them and their children. And so we had thousands of mothers boycotting the vaccine. So although they are not elected, right, and although they are not, they don't have any sort of constitutional authority, they still have a certain responsibility. And I think that there is room to hold them to account, and then the entire institution. Personally, I would favor seriously diminishing their power long term. I don't want to see people like Adeboye in public affairs. I don't want to see people like Gumi in public affairs. I don't want to see any religious leader really. But they it means that one religious leader can cause deaths of people, or the religious leaders who claim to perform miracles. And because of that, many people delay going to the hospital or actually completely skip out on going to the hospital. In fact, in the North, to solve this problem, it took another Muslim cleric to come out and say, look, the vaccine is fine. It is not anti-Islamic. And that was when, women started allowing their children to be vaccinated again. The government did everything. They spent millions of dollars on that campaign, and it failed the first couple of times. It was eventually they redrafted their plans and realized, oh, we can do all the NGO business. But if we actually don't bring in these guys that are preaching in the mosque, it doesn't matter how much we put on sensitization. And so they brought in a couple of clerics and talked to them and, negotiated with them. And those Muslim clerics came out and said, okay, guys, you can take the vaccine. And that was when we got back on track toward achieving sort of 0 polio in Nigeria, especially within northern Nigeria. So my point is that, yes, while they're not elected, okay, that's fine. And for me, long term, I hope we destroy religion completely. But they have a certain responsibility today. And yes, if you have control of 20 million people, we can hold you to account. But like I said, the conversation is we can take the power away. We can say, you know what, we don't care what you say. We don't, which is why I like the conversation we're having. That people can say, you know what, you're wrong, or it's not your place, or you're actually causing more harm to Nigerian democratic discourse. So I think it's fine to criticize them. It's fine to criticize the entire institution. It's fine to criticize religion. It's fine to do all of that because that's what a democracy is. It means we can say, no, we don't want this.
Thank you, Anaton, for your wonderful contribution. So just to remind the House again, we have Nigerian Reset Movement. This organization or this movement believe they have what it takes to reset Nigeria, and hopefully we are going to have them on the platform. And we're going to ask questions. What is this all about? Is he a political party? What are you guys doing? Do you have enough time to do this? So we're going to have this conversation if everything goes as planned, and they're able to conclude things. I would then, let the House know that they will be here. Please do join and ask them questions. If you don't like Bola Tinubu, what's the next alternative? If you don't like Peter Obi, what's the next alternative? If you don't like Atiku Abubakar, if you don't like Shewere, they believe they have the next alternative, what Nigerians should do. So I hope we would, some of you will be on the platform to ask questions. Onyeka, you're back. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Mindset. Sorry, apologies for my network just flipped me out. So I think I agree. You see, the issue is that this is just a congregation of opinions. So our opinions will overlap in some certain distance. So first of all, regarding what Dougie said about, I did not say that Nigeria is a failed state. I agreed with Mr. Daniel that Nigeria is not actually a failed state because most of the critical institutions that should sustain, that should show that a particular country is moving normally, Nigeria still has it. But even those particular states that he mentioned as well in sub-Saharan Africa, it's not as if they are also failed state as well. But the issue is that if we want to aim higher, we should be able to be looking at some better examples. But that is by the way. Now, I think I agree with El Nathan saying that in his opinion that some of these influences of religious leaders, we should look at it very with caution, because he talked about the vaccination of polio, which is excellent, and I like that example. In fact, during COVID-19, while a lot of people have divided opinion about vaccination, COVID-19 vaccinations, we saw a lot of religious leaders as well trying to tell people not to take vaccines, and begin to put some conspiracy theories regarding the COVID-19 vaccinations. Like I also, and I think I also agree with you, but it seems you misunderstood me when I say the religious leaders, the Archbishop of Canterbury particularly that you mentioned in the United Kingdom, because that was the example you initially gave, and some other agencies, or what would I call them, or bodies like the British Heart Foundation, Age UK, and the rest of them, they usually give opinions regarding those things that concerns them. That's what they usually. Of course, the British Heart Foundation will not come and be talking about budgeting, except if there are ones that say, okay, the British government is not budgeting enough money for health, for social care, and the rest of it. I mean, those ones that pertains them. So these are some of the, the relief materials that are being sent to Ukraine, for example, that they are not enough. I mean, they can have opinion on that because those ones pertains them. Those ones is related to them. But the issue is that Nigerians need to be very critical. Of course, Pastor Adeboye can come up and say, I don't support people that say, oh, they shouldn't have it. Of course, they have to, because they should have their opinion, because apart from being those religious leaders, they are also Nigerians. So if you are telling them, the only people you have to tell Nigerians to be cautious of what they hear and should have this discerning spirit to say, okay, I have to sieve out those ones that I feel is counterproductive. Because yes, they have influences, yes, they have followers, but as Nigerians, they can have their opinions. You might disagree with their opinions. You can disagree with whatever they say, because I think Afolabi was divided. He was like, if not that Adeboye, Pastor Adeboye was he's a religious leader. You see, so he's conflicted. You see, he's a little bit conflicted because I don't agree with Adeboye at all. I don't agree with him. When the security situation in the country, like I said, it is more widespread now. I agree with mindset that even during the time of Buhari, that is just the last administration, the security situation now is more scary because anywhere you are in this country, be it in Akwa Ibom State, be it in Cross River, be it in Delta, Lagos, Anambra State, Borno, you cannot sleep with your two eyes closed in this country because kidnapping has been everywhere. In fact, we most of the time talk about the kidnapping in the north. How about the kidnapping in the south? How about kidnapping in Lagos? We see kidnappings in Lagos. We see kidnappings in Ibadan. And let me tell Nigerians, because I am speaking directly to Pastor Adeboye. I mean, I'm not meaning this because he has his own opinion even as a religious leader. If Sheyi Tinubu, I'm not saying Sheyi Tinubu should be kidnapped. What I say, if Sheyi Tinubu should face any security danger, the amount of the level of commitment that the presidency or the government will put in will be quite different from what the ordinary Nigerians are facing. We have seen what happened in Oyo State, where the former minister who has resigned now of power, his relative was kidnapped. We saw the governor of Oyo State visiting him, paying condolence visits, and it became a media. There was a media furore regarding that. And what did we see? After some days, that particular relative was released. We don't know how they secured their release. At least me, I don't know. But you see, the ordinary Nigerians these things should actually be extended also to ordinary Nigerians. Everywhere, if you go around the world, you discover that in most countries, I'm not talking about the sub-Saharan African countries now. I'm talking about the countries we emulate. You discover that most of the time they don't have security issues. If you go to the United Kingdom, people don't build houses and put fences. People don't put fences in their houses because you are not afraid that somebody can come in and kidnap you or most like I mean, there are.
Have we lost him?
Yeah, just like the other time.
Oh, okay.
Stop yelling him.
All right. So, Roy, your hand. We lost him again. Roy, your hand is up. Please go ahead. Yusuf, you have not raised your hand. Hence, I've not passed the mic to you. But let's hear from Roy.
Thank you, Mindset. I temporarily dropped off and I'm back, but I heard a few things. Some pointed at me and some generally. The first one was about the emojis I used. Because I'm a speaker, I'm able to explain when I use certain emojis. If I was just a listener, like I know we've had this rule, ground rule for a while. So I mean, there will be a problem if people just use emojis when there's no joke and you just laugh. But if I'm a speaker, I believe at my age, I'm able to come up and explain what that emoji was for. But that, by the way, points taken. The other point is, by the definition of a failed state, Nigeria is showing the signs of one. I'm not the one that wrote that definition, and that's the definition I'm using as my point of reference. When you don't have control of your territory and borders, of course, there are many other criteria. So when I say it's showing the signs of a failed state, we are old enough to be able to take criticism. Criticism is not someone using a knife at us, and that's one thing I see quite a lot around. By the definition, if Boko Haram has been at play since the late 2000s, early 2008 and such till now, and there have been different regimes. PDP has come and gone. APC is still around, and they've been around for more than 10 years. And security is still a problem as it is. It's my opinion, much as they have their own opinion. I am a stakeholder. I still carry a Nigerian passport. And unfortunately, nobody sponsored my trip to where I am right now or anywhere else. I know my story. I've told some of it to those that I want to tell my story to. And it's quite disappointing that adults, when faced with criticism, instead of attacking it with the same level of robustness, if I say that of myself, go to name calling and stuff. And that's the same thing that occurs. Say, oh, because you're not from Lagos, you shouldn't tell us how Lagos should be. It's what we see nowadays. This thing didn't used to be. We were all just Nigerians. It has become so toxic now that it's really, really unbelievable. Oh, there's flood. Is there no flood in Anambra? I mean, well, I'm not from Anambra. There's flood in Anambra. Is there no flood in Kogi? That's not what it is. If we cannot identify a problem, then how do we want to address it? If we cannot say clearly this is election malpractice, then how do we expect to get good leaders? If we see exam malpractice, we should be able to say, yes, it's exam malpractice, and nobody should graduate with through such a process. And it should be the same in terms of leadership, in terms of what we want to make of our country. It's really, really unfortunate, but this is very, very a very good platform that brings together different ideas. And I think we should respect people's opinions, no matter where they are situated, no matter what they do in terms of their livelihood. I mean, just imagine I'm listening to people now talking here, and I'm going to their platform or to their profile to say, okay, where is this one from? I mean, how? It's that's not what it should be. We are here exchanging ideas. Have I said something that you can take from what I've said? If so, take that. Have you said anything that I think will help the country? I mean, why would I log on to a system, a platform at the time that I've done if I don't want the good of my country? I have a lot of things that I've experienced. There's a reason why I'm not where you think I should be at the moment. And I've told it to those people that I care to tell. Those that care about me, I've also listened to it. I've posted so much about my life on this platform, and I've said so much more. But I don't want that to be the topic here now. The insecurity in Nigeria is of big concern. And if those that are ahead of us in terms of their ages are not doing what they should do to make it better, we should be telling them, no, that's not how it should be. If we fix this country, if we fix Nigeria, it will be good for everybody, no matter who you are. If the government, if the leaders are doing what they should do and the country becomes better, whether by harsh criticism or soft criticism, everybody would be a beneficiary. It's everybody that would enjoy. And like I said earlier in my first submission, if you come with me with performance is always obvious. If I take first position in my class, no matter what, oh, you read at night, oh, you read in the morning, it doesn't matter. I've passed, I've scaled through. So I think what we should be looking for and pushing back with, in terms of what you don't like people saying, is, oh, look at the performance. This is what has happened. There should be data. There should be metrics. We have promises that were given at the start. How many of those have been fulfilled? If I am hungry in the morning, what has made me full in the evening? Has food been provided? How much am I paying for transport? How many people were killed last year? How many people were protected this year? These are the kinds of things that build a nation, and that's what we should be hampering on. Thank you, Mindset, for this opportunity again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roy. So I'm going to address some of the things that you raised. I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. If somebody is in Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Sun, Moon, I don't give a toss about it. Right? As long as the person is a Nigerian, sometimes we do have individuals who are not Nigerians who contribute here. Okay, I said earlier on how Ola was telling us his story. If Ola did not tell that story, some persons would think, okay, this guy, why is he alone on the spaces? He's talking. Some of the individuals who are in Nigeria did not experience what he experienced. So anybody from any part of this world, the world, outside this world, if there is those in heaven, and if you're able to connect from heaven, those in heaven, please connect. I'm fine with it. The only thing is there's a rule, and we have all agreed to the rule of the platform, right? So I'm not going to say because somebody's not in Nigeria, then we should not allow the person to speak. And people have a right. Now, in terms of if Nigeria is first state, depending which, from the angle you're looking at it from, if you go to your state, permit me, please, if you guys, if you don't mind, just give me a few minutes. If you go to your state and you speak to the family members of those children that were kidnapped, they've been there for over 40 days now, right? In the bush, they're not living in somebody's house. Nobody knows what's going on with them. These are young children, and we know how wicked and inhuman these terrorists are. Whatever they're doing to those children, we don't know, right? We're talking about food. Are they eating? Is rain and all this? And there's other things that these animals can do to these children. If you ask somebody, a family member of these individuals, they will tell you that Nigeria is the first state because the country have failed him, her, and their family members. So they have every right to say Nigeria is the first state, right? If you go to Borno State and speak to the parents, uncles of the young students that were kidnapped the same day that the Oyo own happened, they don't know what's going on with these children. And as I said, the same thing. Whatever these animals are doing to these children, we do not know. But we hope that they will have a bit of conscience not to abuse these children. And if you ask somebody from that community, a member of the family members of this individual, their answer will be very clear. Nigeria is a failed state, right? If you ask somebody who uncle is a minister and they're living in a very good place, things are going well, going to private schools, driver will drop you, police and everything, they will say, no, Nigeria is not a fair state because they have everything. So it depends on how you're looking at it. So for you to say Nigeria is a fair state, you have your point. Another person saying it's not a fair state because some of the things that you have encountered, they have not encountered it. Okay, so I just want us to balance this up. But thank you very much, Roy. I mean, you've been a member of this platform since 2021. So it's just quite interesting when people jump on the spaces and they talk about this person speaking. I'm thinking, this platform did not make itself. There are those who were with us when we were only 2 of us, 3 of us, 7. Max, we have 7 people listening, right? But thank you very much, Roy, for your wonderful contribution. Who else do we have? All right, can we have Miriam? Should we go to Miriam? I can see Yusuf. Do you want to speak now? If I see raise your hand, do you want us to pass the mic to Miriam?
No, Miriam can go. Let me be gender sensitive.
All right, thank you very much. Miriam, good morning. The mic is yours.
All right, good morning, Uncle Mindset. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending from where you're joining from. I think I've been on and off for some time because I have a network issue. And I think I joined when, someone was talking about the security of the country and the polio of a thing. So I think, yesterday we were talking with my husband. I was like, the insecurity of Nigeria, and if the government is willing to fight this insecurity, definitely they will fight it. Because he said, like someone was making an example, that let Sheyi Tinubu be kidnapped today. That is when you will know that Nigerian security is working. He will not spend 24 hours. He will be that they will release him. They will go and get him. So this insecurity is just like the willingness of the government, because he was citing something with Niger, because he has people that are like, he has friends that they work together, that they do business in Niger. He said that all these things, this kidnapping that is happening in Nigeria, that they don't dare do that in Niger because of what the Niger government is doing right there. Like I was saying, are they not military? Say, yeah, they're military. That you don't dare bring any rubbish of insecurity to Niger because they're going to, like, the security are going to immediately, they'll get rid of that person. Nothing like going to court, do this, do that, do that. They'll just get rid of the person. That this insecurity is Nigeria. There are certain people that are benefiting from it, and they don't want this insecurity to end. So, because how comes when we're like coming to election right now and everything is becoming so bad, those we that we think that we are safe, we are no longer safe. Just let's be sincere. Let us be sincere. I think I made a in Kano. We all know when it comes to the Northwest, I think Kano was relatively safe, even when the hype of Boko Haram 2014, 20 da da da. But right now, the insecurity that is happening here in Kano, they are not being reported. And you see that it's not something that is happening in the bush, that you feel, oh, this house sketch. No, they're happening close to the city. Gorozo and Shanono. Some people think like, okay, Gorozo and Shanono, they are too far of a local government. They're not too far from the city of from the city of Kano State. But you need to see the insecurity that is happening there. Yesterday we saw what happened. Is it Bauchi? Whereby school students were running because of what is happening in their school. Bandit, or what they call them, were there, kidnapping people. And everything that we are now, every focus right now, we will not saw all the focus of like things. I think a lot of time we give the government, like we give them every excuses to do everything that they are doing to us. Because right now, every focus has been divided. Our focus has been divided. We're talking about the akara and the kuli and the this, every session, every space you join, is that they're talking about the Olodo uprising, or they're talking about the Akara, or they're talking about the football that is happening. Like the citizens, they have more, like they are all distracted. Nobody's talking about the insecurity that is happening. Look at the Oyo kidnap that happens. A lot of people stop at day 14. Nobody's talking it. Nobody's saying anything about that again. So you think this government are going to take the citizen for like, are these people serious? The opportunity that we have as citizens to be able to hold the government accountable when it comes, we just use it anyhow and just make fun of it. On this TL, when the First Lady talked about helping small business, Akara, everything, we all see how the TL was flooded with AI-generated image. Everybody has turned to Akara and Kulikuli and Consela. And I think yesterday she made another comment again on not only supporting Akara and this, that she's also supporting people that are selling all the, she mentioned another small business. Just give us 1 or 2 hours. You will see the timeline flooded with AI-generated image of that same business that she thought, because they already understand the kind of people that they are governing. We don't hold our people, we don't hold government accountable for long. There's this slang that they used to call initial garagara. We always have that initial garagara. When we do that initial garagara, before 1 or 2, 3 months, 3, 4 months, everybody just go back as if nothing happens. The insecurity that is happening, to be sincere, is touching everybody, like everybody, irrespective of whether you are in the north or you are in the south or you're in the east, is affecting everybody. But we, like, I don't know, we are heading to election. Election is coming. Nobody is asking nobody is asking what is there for the common man. Because as I always said, is the common man, that's the ordinary Nigerian that are suffering for anything that is happening in Nigeria, is the ordinary Nigerian. I used to stay at home, and the way they have weaponized poverty, this government, no matter what anybody is going to tell me, they are definitely coming back to power 2027 because of the way they weaponize poverty. You'll be at home, someone will just come and knock, and you will ask, Wanene? They'll tell you about Wachi. Is a visitor. And you feeling like, okay, you have somebody that just want to come, maybe somebody wants to come and say or see you because maybe you think it's your neighbor. And when they open the door, when you open the door, they are pleading for a 500 naira, 200 naira, or one spaghetti that they have kids that have not fed for some time, since yesterday. And you see those women are the ones that have voters card. We all see what played out when they were doing the primary election in Nigeria. All the youth, when it was time for primary election, we did not see even a single youth. We're only seeing women and older men. They are the ones on the queue trying to vote. And this woman who happens to come and beg for one spaghetti or 500 naira or 1,000 naira, and she has a voter's card, and you're telling me when she goes to the polling unit to go and cast her vote, and somebody give her 5,000 naira or 1,000, you think she will not say her vote? She's definitely going to say that vote because of what she's going through. The thing is beyond the level we're coming on X to come say, oh yeah, we'll say our opinion. Yeah, definitely we'll say our opinion. But when you go to the grassroots, a lot of things are happening on the grassroots, whereby when you see what is happening, I'm talking from experience, down north here in Kano State, Nasarawa local government is a city when it comes to, I think Nasarawa, that's where the government house is, if I'm not mistaken. Either Nasarawa, Taroni, or municipal. Nasarawa, Taroni, municipal are very close. And someone is coming to plead for 500 naira, 1,000 naira, and you think the person get opportunity to have vote for 5,000 naira, 10,000, she will not do that? So that's how this government have weaponized poverty. And they are going to use it to the advantage when it comes to election. So Samai said, let me just like, I'm so pained because things, every day you go to the market, things are not easy. Things are not easy. My 12, let me say, the 12 kg gas that we're about to fill, we could not fill the 12 kg. We have to go and fill the small one. Because everything is increasing every day, and we are not seeing anybody. We just heard it on Twitter 1 or 2 days. Maybe when it happens 1 or 2 days, people just come and rant on Twitter. Twitter just take off the space of everything. But when it comes to the physical environment, we hear nothing. We just complain and we just go ahead with doing things. Definitely, someone was talking about, the religious leaders. We just have to give it to them, to be sincere. Not that we can take them. I think, I don't know whether it's now, when we're talking, going up there, we say they are part of government. They are part of government. They also play a role when it comes to government. Definitely, the religious leaders are not everything that you're going to take. Okay, they say things that you're going to take from them all the time, but they are trying to their own.
Sorry, apologies, Miriam. I've raised my hand, and we do have other speakers that would like to contribute. Hello.
All right, Simon. Sorry, my US, my UI, the interface of mine phone, I don't normally see reaction, so I can't react like when somebody's reacting. I can't raise my hand. I cannot see someone raising their hand. Sorry. Okay, let me just stop
All right,
here.
thank you very much. Sorry, I raised my hand because we should be rounding up in the next 27 minutes, I believe. But thank you very much for your wonderful contribution. You talked about what's going on in the North, and people are not aware of it. So I remember in 2023, I had a conversation with some person from the North, and I did explain some things. Because for some reason, people always talk about Bola Tinubu, this Bola Tinubu, that. I am not a fan of him, but wherever the man has done well, I will be number one person to tell you this guy has done well. One of my favorite quotes, you guys know what it means, what I normally quote, what it means. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. Tinubu owns TVC. Tinubu owns the Nation, right? And other affiliated newspapers. We do not expect those papers or those media houses to do the job for you. And I remember having that conversation, and I do tell those individuals, I said, listen, one of the things you guys in the North need to do, you have to invest in media. Because nobody's going to do this for you. People can do the best they can, but nobody's going to do this for you. Media is important, right? And this day and age that social media has taken over from the traditional media, you have to be able to make the best out of it. Even the so-called, even I think, excuse my language, even the terrorists, they are using social media. That's how powerful social media is. And one other thing that Miriam said about people moving on, when they kidnapped those children in Borno State and Oyo State, we saw, these guys that call themselves celebrities coming on TV, on other media crying. I knew it was only going to be 24 hours, not 72 hours, and they're going back to focus on other things. That's okay. Good luck to them. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. At a point, you guys will get bored of me repeating myself. Between now and 2027, moving forward, unless if anything improves, the order of my handle, whether there is Olodo or no Olodo, you will not hear me either. I'm too old for those kind of conversations. I have 3 things I'm interested in: INEC, judiciary, and solving insecurity in Nigeria. These are the conversations I'm interested in. So coming out on my platform is expecting me to discuss Akara or who sell bonds. I'm not interested in those kind of conversations. I'm a parent. I know how it feels if your child, you try to reach out to your child, they haven't called back. Imagine those parents for 40 good days or more. Those children are there, and you want me to leave that, which will not bring a lot of likes and retweets, to discuss who is so low down. I mean, at this age, I'm waiting for 1,000 likes and retweets. I'm not interested in such conversations. But it's people's handles. They have every right to focus on what matters to them. There are some conversations I don't want to be part of. Whether uprising or low rising, I'm not interested. Insecurity, INEC, especially the INEC chairman, whatever we can do to make sure that he resigns and gets somebody else who take over, I am all in for it, legally, right? The judiciary, we must be able to focus on the judiciary. The idea that a judge will decide and remove a party in power, a party from the ballot, and you want us to discuss Olodo. You think these guys are stupid. The moment the lady realized that, okay, they are not focusing more on insecurity anymore, what can we do? You have to give it to APC. You have to give it to these people. And whenever you see them on platform, people say, oh, why are you allowing them to speak on their platform? Did anybody stop you and your supporters to speak? They understand the power of media. That's why you see them on platform coming to defend their candidate, and they have every right to do so. They have every right to do so. So some persons who are the opposition, if there's any, are interested in Olodo and whatever. Good luck to you guys. But thank you very much, Miriam. I hope things work out better in your state. But The North need to sit up. You need to invest in media and speak out of what's going on in the North. Yes, people like myself and other Nigerians will continue to help out, but you guys need to do more. You guys need to, I wish those guys would have hit it to what I told them in 2023. Speak to some of your billionaires. Invest in media. Don't blame Bola Tinubu when TVs choose not to speak about it. It is his media company. He can decide not to use Nation to do it for you. And the same opposition parties who do not understand the power of media, right? And how to change narrative. Bola Tinubu and his supporter will continue to change narrative, and you guys will be focusing on it. So thank you. We have 22 minutes to round up. Anytime the mic is yours before we go to Yusuf and Amura.
Okay, I think both of them have not spoken, so they can go before me.
Okay,
So
that's fine. That's fine. Yusuf and Amura, I'm not sure who wants to go next before.
Yeah, let me go real quick. Effort. Good afternoon, Mindset, to all the speakers and the listeners. Good day to all of you, depending on your time zone. I will just be reacting to a lot of things that have been said, Mindset, because people have spoken my mind. And for the Pastor Adeboye and any other sheikh that might come up to say anything about the president, either for or against, we should know that these people are humans and they are partisan. And for me, Mindset, I think the politicians are using these religious bodies for their political game. And I'll give two examples. When I love the example you gave about the man that said they will not vote for Tinubu for one reason or so, they supported the Muslim ticket with their full chest. Those same set of people were the first people to start complaining that why would Tinubu be giving FCT to a Christian as the minister? That's the governor of Abuja. The same people stopped us. They preached Muslim ticket for us as in all day. But I will tell you, Mindset, the Muslim ticket has not been beneficiary to Muslims. In short, some of my mutuals that are Christians are now, they said, Yusuf, we don't see anything wrong with this Muslim ticket because they are not even stopping them from practicing their Christianity. So these are just religious and political games to get votes. And like one of the people said, these religious leaders are followers. And that is exactly what the politicians are looking for, the followership. So what this pastor is saying, the same pastor from the Southwest, where we have children in the forest for the past 40 years. Man said, here in Kaduna, it rained throughout the night. This is the Northwest. The rain in the Southwest is quadruple hours. So I'm just wondering where those children will be during the rain. And somebody made an example of how they kidnapped former Minister of Power's family and he got rescued. I saw the rescue video, Mindset. It was in a house, they broke the ceiling. In short, they even demolished the house. That means those kidnappers were within the city, not the ones that would take your children to the forest. So those are two different criminal gangs. I feel it was easier to rescue the families of Adelabu because they are inside town, not like the ones that they took into forest, unfortunately. So the pastor can say whatever he wants to say. He's playing to the gallery. He's partisan. And I love what Dougie said, that he doesn't trust the religious leaders. As well, I don't, Mindset. We were brainwashed with Muslim ticket. Although some of us did not buy. I'm a Muslim, but I did not vote for the Muslim ticket. So some people were brainwashed. And I will say this. I think I want to react to what Dougie said and El Nathan, since we are rounding up. Dougie mentioned something about people saying that they bought a yacht, they were condemning it. It was the method of delivery to the Nigerian people. We were told that the president bought a yacht, like a private yacht. We even saw videos, not a naval yacht to combat terrorism or insecurity. If that was the case, nobody would come and be saying that, oh, why would the president go and be buying yachts when Nigerians are suffering? So that communication was not made properly, Dougie. That's why they thought it was a private yacht. And again, I think I heard CBO saying that our naval military, they are one of the best on the planet or in the continent. Perhaps because of the yacht and some other things they bought, we're getting there. And for the, yes, Nata mentioned people, religious leaders, stopping people from getting vaccines. Exactly my point. These guys have followerships. Mine say when Rufai was governor of Kaduna State, he forced all civil servants to do the COVID-19 test, right? He made us to do the vaccine, regardless of your religious affiliations. In short, when El Rufai started fighting Almajiri, man said, I saw a task force, they went to Almajiri school, pick up the children, and these same religious leaders condemned El Rufai for doing that against the Almajiris. So this whole thing about religion, we cannot separate it. We will just be lying to ourselves, right? People are giving example how religion played a very vital role in our elections in 2023. I'm seeing that. But since the major religion, apologies to the traditional worshippers, the Christianity and Muslims, those are the most, how will I put it, the majority religion in Nigeria. The day we come together that we want a better country, I think we'll start getting results. Because when the same people that supported Muslim ticket, they wanted Tinubu to remove the INEC chairman. Man said, Tinubu put a deaf ear on them. When he needed their vote, he was doing what they want. Now he's there. They want INEC chairman gone. He did not even look at them. So I'm imagining if Khan and the Muslim Union, if the Christians and Muslims come together and say they want INEC chairman gone, that will even create more momentum. But they've succeeded in dividing us across this religion for their own political gain, unfortunately. But believe these people at your own risk. I would say this, insecurity in Nigeria is visible to the blind, audible to the deaf. And I want to thank you, Mindset, for giving us this platform, because the mainstream media has been compromised. The things Miriam was saying about Kano, I've not seen it on channels or TBC or Right on all that. So the mainstream media has been compromised. We want to appreciate your platform. Let Nigerians know what is going on. And I'm sure the authorities are listening as well. Let me know off the mic. I yield my. Thank you very much, Mindset.
Thank you very much, Yusuf, for your kind words. Now, for those who would who have listened to Yusuf, my problem with the INEC chairman has nothing to do with what the Muslim ticket has to do, right? That's not my problem with him. So I just want to put it out there. So let it not appear that, or the reason Mindset wants him out is because of this. No, even when we are saying that he has to go because of the article he wrote in the Silent Slaughter. For me, I disagree because he was writing something based on the evidence available to him. My issue with the INEC chairman has to do that because he has proven that he's compromised, he's an APC member, in my view, he's not capable of conducting any free and fair election. He's biased. He has given the access to those who are not the members of APC have access to sensitive information. So for that reason and more, I believe he should go. It has nothing to do with him writing the article on silent slaughter. I just wanted to put that out there. But thank you for your kind words once again. Mr. Amura, the mic is yours. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mindset. How are you? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're driving. Is it safe to drive and speak at the same time?
No, I'm parked. It's raining. I'm back in Lagos. I'm back in the country.
Okay.
The rain is terrible in Lagos.
Drive safe.
Yeah, there's traffic flood everywhere. Anyway, so very interesting conversation, very thought-provoking reactions from different people. But I will express, like I always do, I will express my own personal understanding. And today I will add my own personal opinion. Opinion in the context of someone who is in a position who understands what he's saying, not in the other context of you don't know what you're saying. So what I see from these conversations, online and offline, in particular, I restrict myself to the conversation on this space today from what I've heard, not from what I've not heard, is that we love to present our position. We love to present our perception of reality. My perception of reality might not be the next person's perception of reality. It might not actually be reality. We discuss about the problems, and we, in our conversations, a few people are subjective. Subjective in the context where we're leading people in the way we want them to think. We want people to think like us, have the same opinions as us, rather than being open-minded and being relative. So in my personal opinion, what is the problem? The problem is that we refuse to have a clear and perfect understanding of the problem. And therefore, we cannot recognize the solution. We use terms that are not specific enough. I'm tired of the term bandits, insecurity, this and that. I'm tired of that term. I want to be specific. For the religious leaders, I think, in my personal opinion, I'm a religious person. There are average of 6,000 different religions in the world today. I think when we interject state matters and we give respect and relevance to religious authority, that is the major problem. Is Nigeria a religious society, community? Yes. The greatest emphasis, in my personal opinion and understanding, in Nigeria is the most important thing for Nigerians is their religious belief above anything. The problem we're having in this country, in my personal opinion, is religious extremism. And I'll be specific. When certain people use the terms insecurity, we're not talking about armed robbers, we're not talking about kidnappers, we're talking about Islamic terrorists. Terrorists who are affiliated with Al-Qaeda. Terrorists who form cells that are under ISIS, Islamic State of Iran and Syria. Terrorists who have the second, if I can use the cliche or the slang, the 2IC, second in command of ISIS, domicile in Nigeria. We have terrorists that have been trained in Islamic terrorism, in army and in fighting, whatever term you want to use it for. The problem, in my personal understanding, is that when you have a baby who is 0 years old, you have a caretaker, a nanny, a babysitter, a relative. The baby is 2 years old. The baby is growing. And they say, oh, that first nanny was better than the second nanny. This nanny is allowing this baby to cry and wee in the pampers. Then the baby is 5 years old. Oh, this nanny doesn't know anything. And the baby is 10 years old. Oh, this nanny doesn't know anything. But you are spoiling your baby. Oh, the baby is 15 years old in secondary school. Now the baby is in university. And the baby is still a baby. Oh, this caretaker is a nonsense caretaker. The problem we're having in Nigeria, it is a template. It is a template of Islamic fundamentalists who want to take over the world, the new world order, and turn the world into an Islamic state. If you take every template of every country, whether 30 years, 20 years, whatever duration it took for that country to become an Islamic state, you will see the same template happening in Nigeria today. Nigeria has been at war. We refuse to accept that Nigeria has been at war, in my own personal opinion. We're crying about babies being in the jungle, in the forest in Oyo for 40 days. In my personal opinion, so fucking what? What about the Chibok girls? How many of them were found?
Sorry, Mr. Amara,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so let's be mindful of our language, please. Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry for allowing my emotion to take over my speech. I must apologize. I apologize. I retract that. Anybody who feels offended, I beg your indulgence. So what I'm trying to say, let me rephrase myself. What I'm trying to say is, yes, we're crying about babies and children who have been in the forest for 40 days. Some people have died from crying about their own children who were members of the Chibok girls that were never found till today. The truth of the matter is that if we go back in time and we see the template of activities that happened during the time of the Chibok girls, we will see that every time these Islamic terrorists move into other regions in an attempt to execute their primary assignment, which is to take over the secular government, we see that it is the same template. Attack the military formation, take over the government, kidnap children that will be used as bargaining chips and that will be used as insurance. Train these children as your Islamic fighters or your army, and then you continue. They graduate, you form smaller cells. Nigeria doesn't have this. The president is terrible. If we had state police, if we had all these things, if we had CC cameras, if we had all this advanced equipment, we'll be able to track all these people. These things wouldn't happen. Name one country in the world where Islamic State agitators don't terrorize. The World Trade Center, and I ask people, when you look at the story of the World Trade Center, the first question you need to ask us, why was the World Trade Center bombed? It was a demonstration by Islamic fundamentalists that any attempt to take away their way of life from them will be resisted. This is my personal opinion. It might not be somebody else's opinion. America, the World Trade Center was bombed. Were they able to curb it, nip it in the bud? The Pentagon, if you've been in America, you know what the Pentagon is, you know what the Pentagon houses. A plane dropped in the middle of the Pentagon. So in Nigeria, we are seeing these things 20 years ago when people are telling their stories. The people who are not in that region then are saying, what are these people talking about? I live in Nigeria. Nigeria is safe. It moves down. 15 years ago, when you talk about these things, what are these people talking about? I live in Nigeria. It moves down. When you move to Kwara, there are people like, what are these people talking about? Kwara is just a few minutes away from me. Blah, 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 blah. Now, today, it is happening. But the problem is that we have certain people who want to take away other people's liberties, who want the country to be an Islamic state, who are demonstrating that whether you like it or not, and I quote former President Buhari, that this wave that is sweeping the nation, this Sharia wave, we will not stop until it engulfs the whole country. That is an indication of the propagation of Sharia law. Sharia law is a specific law in a specific religion of a specific belief of certain people. So when we see that majority of the politicians who align with this religion support the propagation of a law from their personal belief over the norms and the rules of the society, you will understand that we have a problem. And when you see these people fighting for the establishment of an Islamic state is a state where any other belief aside from Islam, your liberty is taken away from you. The only other belief that will be tolerated is the belief in Islam and the way of life, how a true Muslim should live. That is the problem that we're fighting in Nigeria today. What is my solution? Is it going to get better? In my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to get better. I think the agenda must be fulfilled, whether it takes 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. If the agenda is to turn only Nigeria into an Islamic state, I wouldn't be worried. But the agenda, that baby born in 1997, 1998, 2001, today is average of 27 years old. Now that baby wants the whole of West Africa to be an Islamic state. ISWAP, Islamic State, West African Province. Are we going to attack this thing as you're attacking armed robbers or 419ers or scammers or kidnappers? No. You have to attack it how Islamic State terrorists are attacked all over the world. You must declare war. We need a president that will be bold enough to tell the citizens that people will die of starvation if we start this war. And this will be the collateral damage for the future, the safety, the future, or the unity of the country. We need to tell the people that if we take this thing head on, for people who read about the holy wars all over the world, even how America was discovered, where Islamic fundamentalists blocked trade routes, that unless this region becomes an Islamic state, there will be no passage. We need to understand what will happen if you hit this war head on. And I land with this as a reminder for us that the primary objective of Boko Haram, when they changed their name from the Arabic or Islamic name into Boko Haram, was that the first primary objective is to take over the government of Nigeria. It is safe for me to conclude today that they have taken over the government of Nigeria in the context that the people we're calling the government are members of Boko Haram who push the ideology. Kind of like when you're in college and you're a member of a secret society or a fraternity or a sorority. Nobody knows who you are, but you know who you are. You know what your ideology is. Are we ready to fight these people? Are we ready to put the other people into chaos? Are we ready for a war, outright war, to resist anything that has to do with religious extremism dictating to the whole country the way the country should swing? Are we ready for that conversation? Are we ready to fight that war? I don't think Nigeria is ready. I think what we're bothered about is what region the president, what region has an opportunity to control or attempt to rule the country. My solution is that will be the template of the United Kingdom. We need to understand, as we understood the Irish Republican Army under the government of Iron Lady Margaret Thatcher, they constantly bombed Margaret Thatcher's government, demonstrating to them that they don't want to be part of that kingdom. They don't want to be united in that kingdom. They want to stand alone. They want to recognize themselves as being different as Irish people. The Scottish man will tell you, I am Scottish, I am not Irish. Don't call me Scottish. The Englishman will tell you, I am English, I am not Irish, I am not Scottish. The Welsh will tell you that I am none of them. You only know the three major people. I am Welsh. If you look into the etymology of the word Welsh, you will understand that we're strangers, we're different from you all. But they decided to be united by citizenship, but they have their own nations, they have their own kingdoms. So the solution is to push the legislators. If the North, that is terrorizing the whole country, the whole union, if they want their Islamic way of life by legislation, it should be given to them in their own region, thereby allowing other people who have a separate way of life to live their own way of life in their own region. If the people who are clamoring for the Republic of Biafra, it should be given to them. If the people, my people who are clamoring for the Yoruba nation or the Oduduwa nation, it should be given to them. So everybody will understand that you have your way of life, I have my way of life, the next man has his way of life. We're in different kingdoms. If we decide to unite together in citizenship as one Nigeria, so be it. If we decide to not unite together, so be it. Without this, then it will be a different situation. If your region, your separate kingdom invades my kingdom, the whole world will join in that war. But as long as we remain as one Nigeria, and we have certain people from the North who are turning the whole country into their burden bearers, and they're terrorizing us with their dreams, their ideas, their aspirations of turning the whole country, including West Africa, into an Islamic nation, this thing will get worse. And it will get worse until that Islamic nation is achieved. And I land with this. Look at all the countries that are Islamic nations today that weren't Islamic nations. Look at how long it took them to become Islamic nations. Mindset, thank you for allowing me to express myself. I think I'll hang the conversation there. We just need to understand and have a clear understanding of what the problem is. And that's the problem. The problem is Islam. The problem is the North. The problem is the dream for an Islamic state. Thank you. Peace be upon you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Amara, for your contribution. Please, if you disagree with him, you can raise your hand and tell us the reason you disagree with him. And, I think the last time he was on the platform, he did explain, I think he told us that he was kidnapped, right? Twice. Mr. Amara, please, I don't want to misquote you. You said you have been kidnapped before. Hello? Okay, it appears it's no longer on the platform. So thank you for your contribution. Am I still audible?
Yes, you are audible. My mindset.
Right, so thank you. Now, I wanted to respond to some of the things he said. Nathan, Eze, and Depai, please do bear with me for a minute, because it's quite interesting. If we want to go our separate ways, if that's what the country wants to do, and everybody agrees to that, that's no problem in that. So we can actually decide and move on. But there's a problem, because in one hand, he's saying that the problem here is
Sorry, Mindset. It was a glitch. I was hearing you, but the mic wasn't coming off. I'm still around.
No, I did. Okay, thank you. I did ask you a question because I don't want to misquote you. You said you were kidnapped. Okay, you have been kidnapped before, right? They have kidnapped you twice.
Yes, I've narrated it on your space twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I just wanted to make sure. So when you speak about insecurity, so people will understand why you're passionate about everybody going their separate ways. But thank you.
Yes,
all right, thank you. So, but there's a problem with that, if we are going to go our separate ways, if we're going with what Mr. Ambra said, because the Boko Haram wants to take over the country and turn it into Islamic country and everything. So then those in the east, you go their separate way. Those in the southwest, you go their separate ways, and the north. We fail to understand that there are Christians in the north. There are those who are not. All not that not everyone that live in the north is a Muslim. If you go to places like Borno State, they have Christians there. So what's going to happen to those guys? If you go to the places like Southern Gombe, there are Christians. Southern Kaduna, there are Christians in all these places. So if we now move in a different way, where are we going to put these guys? Are we still going to leave them there to be converted to the Boko Haram or what have you? Would now convert them into that? I think the thing here for me, I'm not an expert in this field, but listening to those who have spoken about it, the issue we have in Nigeria is not only Boko Haram. We have Boko Haram, we have ISWAP, we have, I never mentioned all these names with the other individuals, and Mr. Jive as well. So whatever it is, whether it's Boko Haram, whether it's ISWAP, whether it's whatever, the government should get rid of them so we can live peacefully. We used to do these things. We used to drive from here to there, right? But thank you. Mr. Amura, you raised your hand. Did I misquote you? You want to respond?
No, I thought you threw some questions. I thought maybe I'll have like a minute. As you said about there are people of different religions in different places. My emphasis is on the desire to turn the region into an Islamic state. There are Islamic states today where you have Christians. I may be wrong, but there's a significant number of Christians in Saudi Arabia, but they understand the terrain that they're in. So if we have our different kingdoms, just like the English understands the customs of the Irish, you understand that you're not in England, you're in Ireland. And just like the Scottish have their own customs and traditions that you will respect, you understand that you're not in England, you're in Scotland, and you will respect that. So if we have our different regions and I'm in the north for any reason, I understand that I am not in Nigeria, I'm not in the south, I'm not in the east, I'm in the north. I will keep my alcohol or I will keep my cannabis, I'll keep it away from them. So I think in my own personal understanding, that's the solution for everyone to have their own region so that you will not be fighting to turn other people's region into your own religious region. Thereby, everybody must subscribe to your own dictates. Thank you.
Yeah, but thank you. But this is the thing, right? The individuals I'm making reference to are not people who just moved to those places because they are there to look for greener pasture. No, these are the communities in Borno State, in Chibok, right? So are you saying those in Chibok? Are you saying those in Chibok should now leave their Christianity and stop doing other things and then follow suit with whatever this really other Boko Haram or whatever? Sorry. Please, can I land? All right, I'll end it here. Anytime you have the mic.
Yeah, mindset. I can understand. I think maybe I have some empathy for people who might have been directly affected by some kinds of violence, but it doesn't change what the facts are. The facts do not support this analysis. I'm from Kaduna, and so I'm also from the north. I know many people who are Muslim who do not want to live in a Sharia state. I know many people who do not accept the state of affairs as it is. But also apart from this, it's a mischaracterization of the complex problems that are happening in the country and in northern Nigeria. The Islamic militancy and terrorism, jihadism, is only one aspect of a very sort of hydra-headed problem. So, for example, we know that Boko Haram have themselves sort of attempted to convert certain other into sorry, did somebody unmute? Anyway, Boko Haram have themselves, attempted at one point or another to convert many bandits into like their own, and they were unsuccessful. So a lot of the people doing the violence today have no interest in Islam or having a jihadist movement. They are just
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth connected.
don't care about Islam. Mindset, I see your hand. I'm just gonna say the last sentence.
And Nathan is from your side. My hand is not up, sir.
I'm sorry. It's my interface is just messing with me. Anyway, so in any case, I think the point is that this is not to negate a person's personal experience with violence, right? But then again, we must be careful that as much as we experience, like I've had cases where certain kinds of violence, very specific to my family, for example, have occurred. And I've had to sort of step outside the immediate violence to say, it could make me hate a certain group of people, for example, or to, fall into conspiracy theories. But it's also good to sort of step back a little and ask, what is the broader nature of this problem? That many of the people, like the people who are victims of Lakurawa, they don't like Lakurawa. The people whose villages have been completely overrun by ISWAP, they're not happy about it. The women and children who are Muslim, who have been kidnapped by Boko Haram, they don't enjoy this. They didn't choose to be there. They don't want it. If you go and ask all of the people who have been, who are staying in sort of the realm of these Islamic jihadists, they would want to be rid of these people. So the idea that there is this one grand, movement and that every type of violence points to this is oversimplifying a very complex problem. Again, like mindset, you said, there are many of us minorities in the North who are from the North who are not going anywhere. This is our home. We're not going to move our villages. We're not going to, also remove all of the Muslims that surround us. We are there. We have a long history, a history spanning hundreds of years, living side by side together, sometimes at war, sometimes at peace, sometimes cooperating, sometimes competing, And so I think that this is a very dangerous mischaracterization because you just need to listen to people who are Muslims in the North who are complaining every day, villagers in Zamfara who cannot sleep, villagers in Katsina who cannot sleep, and these are Muslims. People in the regions of Sokoto, the outskirts that have been taken over by these people who cannot sleep, they also suffer from this. So it's a much more complicated problem than just saying, well, Muslims want to take over the country. This is, and even if you talk about Muslims, which Muslims? In fact, the Sharia that we have as part of the Nigerian legal system was not supported, for example, by the Shia in Nigeria, the IMN. I remember very clearly when Sheikh Zakzaki, whose work I followed for more than 20 years, said very clearly they do not support this, what he called political Sharia. So even the Sharia that we already have now, not all Muslims supported it, because he had a very strict sort of set of parameters for when a state can have Sharia, So it's important that we are careful and understand that we all face these problems, and that in fact the greatest problem is the absence of state institutions that function, so that these outliers, these extremists, usually have the loudest voice, and they have the biggest effect on not just violence, but also on our social relations, so that we see each other in this way, as opposed to seeing each other as people who share, hopefully a common destiny. Thanks, Mindset.
Thank you, Nathan. You see, the thing here is sometimes some of us believe that we only have 3 ethnic groups in Nigeria, or 3 tribes. We are Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba, right? There are other ethnic groups. that do things in a different way. I mean, like Nathan said, they've been there for hundreds of years. They are not Muslims. Some of them are not Christians. Some of them don't even believe in anything. So what are we going to do with those individuals? Are we going to throw them away? Are we going to say, okay, no, one thing, let's gather everyone from those villages and bring them to create a place and bring them there and leave them there? Is that how it's going to work? I don't think that will work. I think what will work is to have a government who will protect the lives of every citizen. Whether you're in the north, you're in the south, you're in the southwest, you're in the south, that's what we need. We want someone in Borno State to live freely. If you want to practice your Muslim, that's fine. Allow those who are Christian to practice. If you want to practice your Christianity, fine. Allow those who are Muslim to practice. Everybody do your thing, respect one another, and believe. If you don't believe in anything, I mean, that's actually okay. But don't force your religion on others. Right? I think if we're able to get something from this, I think our Nigeria will be better than what it is at this point. King, your hand is up. Go ahead, sir.
Good day, everyone. I greet everybody. My opinion on this issue, or should I say how my views, is that heavy is the head that wears the crown. When people criticize religious leaders, these people are in position of leadership. And that throne that they sit on will attract all sorts of things, be it criticism, hatred, and praises and protection that they get. So it's important to understand that, yes, some people might not be happy if they are a favorite or if they are chosen a pastor or religion or religious leaders are criticized. So we must try and find a way to move our mentality as a society to the point where we can actually talk about things, talk about people, talk about the opinion of people in high places. Someone who has a church member or congregation of 50,000 people, his words is not the same as someone who only has a congregation of 10 people. It's like on social media here. Someone who has 1 million followers, it's not the same as someone who has 200 followers. Their words don't carry the same weight. People say things, public figures, they say things, and the things they say become reality in the world. So it's important for us to get to that point of, oh, maybe my opinion or not. That's just the truth. And truth can be verified regardless of my opinion or not. Now, moving on from that, the power that those people has, it needs to be understood that what is power? Power is the ability to influence or to determine outcome. And that's the reason politicians go to them during campaign. They'll start showing up in churches, taking pictures with some of those leaders, or going to kneel down in front of those leaders to get hands laid on them. So this is
The noise is
something.
sorry, I apologize, King. Amura, your mic is sorry. I apologize, sir. Amura, if you can hear me, your mic is on. Can you please help us to put your mic? King, please go ahead, sir.
So yes, so if someone has the power to determine outcome or to at least influence it, maybe they don't have the power to determine the entire outcome, but they do contribute a lot. Because for some times now, we've not seen those most of those political figures going to kneel down in front of any priest or imam. But soon, when the election campaign, the closer we get to the election, we start seeing it. They are not stupid. These people are not stupid. They might not be doing the right thing for the country, but they are not stupid. So it's important to hold everybody accountable, at least ask them questions. That's the bare minimum. If we cannot be curious enough to question the actions of people who has great influence in the society, then what's the point? Do we even call ourselves a society anymore? Now, on the security issue, this is the reason I like to come on this platform anytime I can. There's almost no suggestions that I can think of that people have not spoken here. Now, there's something, the synonym of truth, or should I say in French, they say the truth is vérité, la vérité, something that is true. And it came from the Latin veritas, which means something that is verifiable. Regardless if I support the government, that the government has done enough or not, it doesn't matter because insecurity is verifiable. It's not in the realms of opinions anymore. It is a reality. If I step outside now, it's very hot where I am. That does not change that someone in Antarctica is might be having a very cold day. But I can say, oh, from my opinion, it's very hot. No, the truth is verifiable regardless of what I believe or not, if I see it or if I know it or not. The insecurity in the country is terrible. It's terrible. And I've said it many times, Nigerians need to find a way to hold the government accountable. If protests no work, there are other civil ways that people disobey the state to send a message that, hey, this thing, they pain us, and we do not agree to this. So I hope someday we can all come together and acknowledge that, yes, this thing is bad. It has not happened to me or my family, or it happened to me or my family or something. And we stand up and support people. We show solidarity and not this apathy that we have everywhere. Finally, the issue of maybe every region and stuff because of Islamization and so on. My view of that is that no matter what religion you believe in or not, or whatever ideology you believe in or not, Nigeria should remain one. And our structure is actually good, but it's not maintained. You don't give birth to a child and you say, oh, this child is not brilliant, and then you throw away the child. No, it's still a good child. You just have to develop a system of learning for the child to actually work out. People do not understand this. Why Nigeria became a non-aligned country is because we did not want to become a place where we fail completely. And that system worked. Because during our civil war, we could have become a proxy like you have in the Korea or in Vietnam, of be it the West or the East. But our system worked. We have moments like that we can refer to in history and say our system actually worked. The time there was going to be a problem in Gambia in 2014 to 2016, our military went there to remove Yahya Jammeh to make sure that country did not fall apart. So we actually have systems that work if followed. We don't even need to modify them. I used to think of this, but the more I read, the more I ask questions to people who are much older than me, I understand that Nigeria has a good system. It's just not working because for some reason, I would say we have all failed to make sure that our system works. That's just my 2 cents. Thank you to everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Eze, for your wonderful contribution. Nigeria belongs to each and every one of us, and we will continue to speak. One of the things I liked, and I must commend everyone that has spoken today, especially those from the APC. I'll listen to them in as much as people don't want to give them an opportunity to speak. Some of them said on this platform, please, if I'm wrong, somebody needs to correct me, that the government is trying, but they're not doing enough, right? Normally, if you have an APC person, he will tell you, this thing has been curbed and all these things, but you have people who are reasonable to be able to tell themselves the truth. We listen to Daniel, we listen to Douglas, who said they are doing enough, but that enough is not enough. That was quite an interesting way of putting things. So what am I trying to say is, we can see that we have a problem, and collectively, we are all beginning to say, okay, what can the government do more? And it is important. You and I hate APC, dislike APC, don't vote for Bola Tinubu, vote him out. But for the time being, if there's anything we can do as Nigerians to have a safe Nigeria, we must do it. You're not going to say to yourself, listen, I knew somebody's coming to kidnap people, but because I want to punish this government, I'm not going to say it. Right? Permit me, guys, but I will be using this as a reference as we continue the conversation. The children that went to school on that fateful day, some of them did not vote for Tinubu. Some of them didn't vote for Atiku. Some of them, I don't think they're old enough. Some of them did not vote for Peter Obi. Some of their parents did not vote. Some of them voted, right? But it could be you and I. Just imagine if it's our family members, what are we going to do? Those in Borno State, the same thing. Those that were kidnapped in Bauchi yesterday, what crime have they committed? Only because they are Nigerians. We are going to punish Tinubu. We are going to punish Tinubu. Before you punish Tinubu, do not punish yourself by seeing something and not saying something. And the government needs to sit up. It is that important. So thanks to everyone that contributed. Are we missing anybody? Do you have any new speaker that just joined us? Somebody needs to help me out. Do we have any? Okay, I can see Ejiro. Good morning. Sorry, actually, good afternoon. The mic is yours.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a great conversation to have. I hope that towards the end, this can be curated into a written piece. I run Light Ray Media. It's a publication that drives the conversation about think tanks, thinkers, and solutions providers. And the reason we took that position within the media and literary space was because we are tired of listening to complaints. Nigerians tend to feed into complaining, and they revel in the pain that comes from the pleasure of it. For some weird reason, I cannot understand it, but it is pervasive, it is there. So I would love that towards the end, maybe I can reach out to you, Mindset, and then we get some of these stories, these pointers that we've identified, and then put it into the mainstream. Because what is happening also is that we have too many echo chambers where people just are seated and marinating in their own world and lost to others. Eze made quite a very important analysis about you can be in Antarctica, and I am in West Africa. Antarctica is cold, whether you like it or not. That's a reality. In where he is also is pretty hot. There's no denying that. That is reality. So how do we make sure that every one of us are seeing the various perspectives that we are having? There's enough documented evidence to prove something to us. One, there is a mindset at play where somebody and where exploitativeness of situations in Nigeria has become part of even our behavioral traits. While it has been identified that it is true that throughout Nigeria, there is evidence, even the military come and tell you, the naval officers will explain things to you, the intelligence officers within Nigeria, the architecture of it all, will tell you that, yeah, there's been fallout from past political shenanigans where some of these, what do you call them, militants were, or what, no, there's a better word for it, where you, why is it going off my head now, where you hire, a gun for runner, for stuff like that. And then you empower them with so much machinery in terms of violence and warfare so that you can protect your political outcomes and then make sure that others don't smell it. And then when you win, there's just this trouble of getting back the armament, right? And these guys will not go back. There's that conversation, so it exists. Then there's also the other exploitative conversation, which we saw back in the day that has played out here, and people tend to justify it. I remember back in the day when the militancy was beginning to rear its head, I was the most vocal voice in the Niger Delta when I said the way the militancy was taking its face was about criminality being infused into a legit conversation and a fight for what is yours. So we must understand that the criminality is also existing, and Nigerians are beginning to tap into that criminal mindset. How do I mean? Have you noticed what is happening within Nigeria where you see people actually within homes now arranging kidnapping of their own fellow members? putting them through the ringer simply because somebody wants to benefit. We've seen cases of wives, of husbands, of uncles, of aunties. We've seen all of that. So what we're now seeing is a criminalization of one idea. Like I think it was Amaro that mentioned that point about idea. So there's the idea part of the conversation, right? Where somebody wants to dominate you. It exists, there's no denying that. But somebody is at play playing that particular banjo. Then like El Nathan John rightly stated, and El Nathan, for the sake of just getting to speak with you here, I have been conversing so much about your book, Born on a Tuesday. Because that book was a phenomenal piece of literature. I do not see why it does not get the kind of acclaim it deserves to get. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about mindsets here. We're talking about behavioral traits that are enabled from a mindset. We're also talking about a mindset that engages in certain activities that stimulate certain outcomes because that is what it takes pleasure in. So at the end of the day, what happens now? We need to go back to the source code. Which is the source code? Our young children in northern Nigeria, like the other day at Anna, I was having a very wonderful conversation. I said, look, northern Nigeria is not one northern hegemony. It is not. That imposition is what is breaking people into pieces. There are so many representations of it. I was even arguing that the idea, that narrative that Nigeria is 3 major languages is so misleading because what it does is that it balkanizes people in a certain way that they feel they are denied their own identity. You go to India, for example, I've been there, 23 languages. English is just one of the 23 languages. 22 of the other languages are recognized as a language because that's how broad they are. And we are more than that as well. So you see, this perception thing matters. It has a way of seeping into people's psyche and making people either feel identified with, balkanized against, or denied reverence and significance. And then we cannot deny the fact that religion also plays its role. It is the way we endorse it that is the problem. It's not as if you cannot be religious. You can be. It's your choice. That's your way of connecting to whoever or something higher than you. I mean, people need that. But it is the manifestation of it. Like El Nathan noted, he did say that truly speaking, the Shia don't want the idea of a police Sharia state. They don't want it. It is clear, but you don't see that amplified. And that's why my first conversation is, how do we amplify this conversation so that they also become mainstream? The echo chambers are a lot. We need to break them. We need to populate them with these other very exciting conversations that we're talking about so that we can begin to help our young generation of children. The Almajiris are a target, whether we like it or not. And the guys on TV, on social media, they don't care about us, and they are not Nigerians. Most of the time it's been identified, they are not Nigerians. These are just criminals seeking opportunity, amplifying and dancing on that opportunity, and them massacring for the sake of massacring. They are enjoying it. But the problem we also have is this. If we can go to Gambia to solve somebody's political problem, what are we doing with Nigeria? We've got some fantastic policies. We've got some very great laws. We have autonomy of local government. What are the local government doing? What are the people in communities also doing? There was a point somebody made earlier on. He says the North that will fight this battle. And there's no lie about it. Same thing in southern Nigeria. The South too must also fight the battles that they are faced with. Enough of complaining. Let's put our hands to the plow and actually get to do the work. And it's easy to get the work done. And we're beginning to see those changes manifesting. You're seeing people begin to realize that, come on, you cannot have a mindset mentality where religion teaches you to be a pacifist, because that's also part of the problem. When a religion teaches you to be a pacifist, what happens is you take on the victimhood mentality. And a victimhood mentality means you surrender. You always look up to hope, and then you look up for a messiah, for somebody to be the problem solver for you when it is within your power to do that. And I'm happy we're seeing a gradual shift where many communities, back in the day, Nigeria used to be like that, where you will say, oh, there's a problem here. Everybody comes together to solve the problem. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin, which tribe you're from, which religion. It is about a problem, and they attack it head on. And I hope that the rest of us who are here, the things that we have said, will not just be a conversation we go regurgitate simply because we want to sound intelligent or intellectual of some sort. No, it's about, okay, what can I take out of here in this conversation and immediately begin to implement? There's something I did with my book called Distortion. There's a practice in Eastern Nigeria called the Usuke system. I don't know how many people know about the caste system. And I was so offended by the notion that it is still pervasive in the society because I met a woman in Port Novo. It was the woman who ignited my book, Distortion. I met her and she said she's from Usuka. I didn't see why she was in Port Novo. It didn't make sense to me, especially where I found her. And then she gave me a story, and I was mad. I mean, this thing still exists. I thought since 1956, Azikiwe had put in a law that promulgated that is it wrong to call anybody an Osu. Meanwhile, the people themselves, who are the first to shout against racism in Africa, in America, and in other parts of Europe, also practice another form of racism. It's an Osu. And so I went on a media tour, and you needed to see how people were not talking about this thing. As I speak with you, just November last year, a local government area in Imo State, Oguta community, actually have now abolished the Osu system. Why did they do it? Because somebody decided that even though I'm not from there, it was a big issue and it is inhuman. And we took it on like our life depended on it, because one form of inhumanity and lack of human rights is another a threat to somebody else's form of also existence. And that's where this conversation about the young Almajiris is key. We must protect these young children. We must begin to see how we can arrange a situation where even if you use religious literature to teach, let it be that you're empowering their minds. You're enabling people, even as communities, to think as humans first, to think about solutions next, to think about protecting community next, just like people are now beginning to arm themselves and say, we're going to fight. We're not going to sit back and watch somebody pummel us to pieces and destroy our history, our culture, and who we are as a people. I think I can just stop there for now. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Ejiro, for your wonderful contribution. Now, wow, quite interesting. I wish we have enough time. Where do I even start? The thing about this platform, for me, it's not just that we come here, we talk, it's how much I learn from the speakers, right? You know, if there was no space today, I would have known that you're the one that started this whole thing, in as much as, you know, people would want to claim, oh, but it's been there, right? So I want to commend you for that. And on this platform since 2021, we have done well, and we continue to do well. I'm one individual who don't like to blow trumpet, but some of us on this platform know what this platform has contributed to the nation called Nigeria, whether those in APC and those against APC and everything. So we will continue to give everybody an opportunity to speak, and we will continue to find a way to come together and build this nation. Nigeria belongs to every one of us. One of the things that you said that I really, really agree with you is that this notion that there is only 3 ethnic groups is something that we need to dive into. The earlier we started educating people that we don't know have only Igbos, Hausa, and Yorubas, there are other ethnic groups. So when we talk about insecurity and what have you, and then another thing you said is that these individuals who are here killing us are not even Nigerians. I've heard people say it. And then you hear people, politicians want us to believe that this thing is being sponsored by the opposition. If that these individuals who are killing us, when I mean us, as Nigerians, whether you are from the north or from the south, why can't the politicians and every Nigerian say, okay, enough of this nonsense? You cannot leave your country and come in here, you know, for some reason, decided to butcher us, you know, rape our women, take our kids, put them in the thing. We have to do something about it. And let's leave politics out of it. And let's focus in getting these criminals out of our country as Nigerians. I think it is doable only when we accept that we have a problem. But for the time being, you know, we'll continue to do our best. Thank you very much once again for your wonderful contribution. Guys, it's actually 12:27. Doggy, sorry, I don't like to use that word, doggy. Douglas, you raised your hand. What is it regarding, sir? Hello? All right. Nathan, can you help me? Am I still audible?
Maita, you're audible. I think Douglas is crossing the border.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine then. So, who else? Who else do we have? Is there anyone raising their hand?
Yes, Jeff. Jeff is here.
Okay, Jeff, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Mindset. Although I want to first of all clear something that El Nathan been saying something. I don't know whether he was referring to me, but I think I make a submission close to that. When I said Nigeria has faced so much that not any within country within the 54 countries.
All right, so we've lost Dave as well, right? So I think the best thing we can do, let's just do our final thoughts as we round up. Hopefully we'll be back again. Yusuf, you have the mic, your final thoughts.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mindset, and thank you for keeping the space. I wanted to just react to the concluding part of Amora's submission and commend the last speaker. I think Amora said Islam is the problem. And personally, as a Muslim, I disagree, because I know growing up as a Muslim, I know the sect in Islam. I know Tijaniya, Qadiriya, Al-Sunnah, and what have you. All these ISIS, ISWAP, Lakurawa, these are terrorist organizations. They are just bastardizing Islam to carry out their criminal activities. So I disagree with Amora that Islam is the problem. This can be fixed. The first lady of the country is a Christian. The president is a Muslim, the president is a Muslim. We are fine. Mindset. It's not the religion now, because the chief of army staff, the minister of defense, the finance minister, the attorney general of the federation, there are plenty Christians among them. So I disagree that ISWAP is doing anything to do that. In my opinion, Islam is not the problem. Our leaders can fix this, like you said. We need to just come out of our covens and speak the truth to power. Thank you. I yield my mic.
All right, thank you very much. Roy, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Mindset. As we always say, we have, if we want to be wise, as it said, we should learn from the mistakes of those that have tread the path that we are on. We should be always honest with ourselves. If we tell ourselves the truth, it's plain to see. That's where we can start to fix things. I wish all of us a very special day today and a very good week.
All right, thank you. So as I said earlier on, there's a possibility we're going to have these individuals to join us, this group, Nigerian Reset Movement. So hopefully by the end of the week, I will update the house, and then we probably will have Professor Chidi. I'm trying to put things together. Professor Chidi Nkano would possibly be on the platform anytime within this week or next week, depending on how his schedule is. We want to speak more on the issue of the judiciary. So we're going to have the Nigerian Research Movement, and we're going to have Professor Chidi. And then there's another person who wants to come to the platform, one of the individuals running for the NBA president. So these things, I just wanted to update the house. So if everything works well between myself and them, then we'll have them on the platform. Do we have any other person? King.
Yeah, of my
Yes. Yes. Sorry. Who? Oh, you guys are amazing, aren't you? Okay, Miriam, go ahead.
All right, thank you so much, Uncle Mindset, and I really appreciate. And just my final thoughts, and it's something that for me, I think when it comes to religious matter of Nigeria, I don't want to put anything in. I don't want to say anything, because my mother that gave birth to me, her elder sister, who happens to be her elder sister, is the same mother, the same father. She's a Christian. So I can't say, okay, these people are the problem, these people are the problem. When I'm coming back home, I have cousins, nephews who are Christian. So the problem of Nigeria is very dynamic. We just have to be very careful. If you say, okay, this set of religion are the problem, you have families that are from that religion, or you have friends that are from that religion. So that's why we have to be very careful. The Islam that we all grew up to know, as Yusuf says, we have different sects in Islam. So if you say, okay, this Islam are the problem, which of the sect of the Islam are the problem? Can you identify it? You can't identify it. So that's why we have to be very careful when it comes to religious matter of Nigeria. We just have to be very careful, because you might not know when you are hurting your family, you thinking that you are doing it for yourself. So that's what I want to put out. And lastly, for me, I'm just saying, as you said, not just come to the space and just talk anyhow. go back to your community and see how you can help your community. And that's something that we have been doing. Like, I think Ma'am Ejiro talked about the Almajiri people. To be sincere, what the Almajiri are doing there not, you'll be very, very, like, you can't understand. You feel like, okay, these people are your people, and they're not Muslim, and they're not them. But what they do to their fellow people, like their fellow brothers in the north, you'll be very scared. And it's Almajiri that will come to your house, knowing that, yeah, this person is a Muslim. And you come to her, you come and say, okay, help me with one this, and you give him food. And if you feel like you don't like that food, you will pour it on your car. So these are the kind of mindset that these people are being groomed up. Not that it's the religion, because when he wants to follow the religion itself, there are a lot of things that people do when it comes to Islam, people that understand what Islam is, that you don't try to do because you know your Lord will be very angry with you. So I think this is what I want to say. We should be very careful how we talk about religion when it comes to Nigeria. Nigeria is so diverse when it comes to religion, when it comes to tribe. We just have to say, as you identify yourself, who are you? You are Nigerian. Don't come and say, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. I like these people, I don't like these people, because you might end up hurting your family without you knowing. So that's my own submission.
Thank you very much, Miriam, for your contribution. You actually from something now. This will be a very controversial topic, but I think if we're able to get the right people on the platform, when I mean the right people, we need some scholars from the Muslim community. Well, I want us to discuss this Almajiri thing, because you said something now, which myself I have not heard about it. This is my first time of hearing about it, that, you know, these people might actually be a problem, not to sorry, you said that you gave them food and they throw it away and what have you. So how do we solve that problem, right? Between yourself and Yusuf, I think the only two of you are the only Muslims we have here. Please, if there's any other Muslim on the platform, do indicate. If you guys can get us one, if you're able to get one or two scholars, I want us to discuss this Almajiri issue. Right? If you guys are able to do it, please. My email address is there. Send me an email. Then I think it's going to be controversial. It's going to be controversial, but I'm not scared to discuss such topics. Right? I'm really interested in it. Miriam, are you able to do that? I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear your mindset. I think I might get some words. I know of there's this Sheikh that is on the X here right now that normally do some askar in the morning that I normally joined the session. We can because to be sincere, in Islam there's nothing like Almajiri. Let's just be frank, let's just be sincere. There's nothing like Almajiri. It's the culture.
Just if you're able to speak to the Sheikh or Yusuf as well, and every other person on the platform, I just want us to discuss it. I think it will be a very interesting conversation. Anytime your hand is up, sir.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the whole Almajiri thing. So it's part of my whole first book was about Almajiri anyway. And there is a scholar, Dr. Kere Abdul Rahman, whose PhD is on the Almajiri system in Nigeria. I've cited her work a lot. So she is. These kinds of conversations is. I would say that people who study it are a different kind of professional than people who are religious, because you can be religious and a sheikh and not know very little about what's going on. So people like Dr. Hadiza Kiri Abdurrahman, whose PhD particularly is in that, is somebody who's a good person to talk to. There are several other scholars I could mention, because, like I said, again, it's also part of my work.
Thank you very much. So we have Nathan, and then we'll hopefully get other scholars. And I think we still need some religious leaders, because it's good for us to ask questions. If you remember, there was an individual on the platform on Saturday. His name is actually a scholar. He did say that whatever in the North, that they play a different kind of politics, right? So the religious leaders have so much power to decide what people would do, right? So I think as we wait for Nathan, please, are you going to reach out to the individual you mentioned?
Yes, if you just tell me what day it is, I can speak to her. But I can also send you her handle. She's always very happy to talk about, because this is like her core research. She spent many years this is what she was doing for a lot of time. Her name is Dr. Hadiza Khere Abdurrahman.
That's fine. So if you're able to reach out to her, I mean, it would be nice to have yourself and her on the platform. So if you, we can work something out. But the thing is, it's going to be hard talk. It's not going to be Good Morning Nigeria, right? Because core conversations, I think it's very important we have it in the late hours of the day, right? Hope that works for you. So if you reach out to her, then let me know. We'll work something out.
Okay, I think it's easier if we know what day are we thinking?
Okay, so
just
Friday,
pick a day and then I can just send her a message. If you have a day and time, just let me know and I'll see if she is available then. And then I can send you a DM to whether or not she's able to join.
Okay, that's fine. I will look at my diary, then I will get back to you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. I'll follow up with the mic is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Mindset. I think everybody pretty much set my mind. And I think in terms of religion, we should just find a way to keep them out of politics, and Nigerians should just not look to religion for direction when it comes to politics. And the current government just need to do better in communicating. They're doing a great work. I mean, for example, now I am hearing for the first time that whole saga about buying a boat is actually for the Navy. We shouldn't be the one going to find this information. These things should be readily available. We're in election season now, and a lot of things are going to be, there's going to be fake news. So the government needs to be ready to be providing good communication to people, or else everything that they're doing will be drowned up in the noise. So yeah, hopefully they take some lessons from that.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. King?
Yes, my final thought on the entire state of Nigeria is just to address the people who think Nigeria should break up or who are suggesting something of that line. I always say this, Nigerians, we have not tried enough, and beheading is not the antidote to headache. I know the last guy who talked about this every region of separation is Yoruba. In Yoruba, they say, Oribibe, Kinshogun Orififo. So we should always try our best to make sure the system we have, we exhaust it by trying everything possible to make it work. My own father was shot in the Civil War. And after the war, he had an opportunity to move to Italy, but he decided to stay in Nigeria, and he was part of the people who did the Ozemena community, which means may another never happen. So even as an Igbo man, he believed in togetherness. So let's keep talking about it. Let's keep doing whatever we can do individually and as a people in general. And hopefully someday we can come and say, okay, we've tried everything and nothing worked. Maybe then we can say, let's break up. God bless everyone.
Thank you very much. Joy, the mic is yours.
All right, thank you. This is my network. What I wanted to say was this issue of Nigeria possibly being pressed and how some of us talk much about the effort Nigeria put in curtailing insecurity. Now, there's something that Al-Nathan said. If you look at in crime index in Africa, I think South Africa is top there. When you talk about crime index, South Africa is doing about 75 point something %. Now, that is one of the countries out of 54 countries in Africa that we believe that is organized to an extent, is good. Nigeria is third because DR Congo is second in terms of that crime index. Now, when you talk about the most terrorized top countries in Africa, Nigeria still fall third because Burkina Faso, that people talk so much about, is the first top there in Nigeria, which is neighbor to us, is second, Nigeria third. But why we press Nigeria so much sometimes is because of the data out there. You look at the size of what Nigeria has, you look at the population Nigeria has, then you look at the numbers of security men physically on ground that Nigeria has compared to the population it has, then the border area and most of these things. Now, you would not be out of point when you say Nigeria have a population of 230-something million people with a vast land, then with porous bordering 4 different countries, and about 3 of them are countries that we face within the Sahel. Then you look at it and judge it and understand the point I was making my submission that non-African can face and can still control what we have. Most of these countries in the Sahel that you look at them, one part of the faction of the country is in the hands of either the insurgency, or as you may call it, whatever name you want to call it, terrorists. Nigeria have not been able to lift that to the terrorists of Boko Haram. No matter how difficult we have faced, we have been able to have all part of our country intact. Military are there, you find attacks and other things there, but we have never left any state for anybody. So these are things that sometimes you have to judge and look at it and say, oh, can any other country in Africa curtail what we have done? I don't think you mention anyone for me, but it's still my own opinion, not your own opinion. Now, there is something that
Have we lost him again?
Yes, mindset. We lost him.
Okay. Jeff, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. Your Medugiri's network always messes you about, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Miss Ejiro, your final thought as we round up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so here is my suggestion. I think we're over 500, about 300 plus or 500 persons on this conversation. We all have our circle of influence. The way the world works is that when you are able to manage your circle of influence with the kind of information, the mindset you populate, and the behavior you endorse or approve or cultivate or actually make or actually reward, that is what that community will manifest. We have seen it in our citadels in schools, because we hire the worst kinds of lecturers, pardon those who are in that institution, but they themselves will agree that when the character of those employed, right, does not match the quality of the intellectualism required, or they paid for it, what happens is you see a distortion in our citadel. It is happening every day. In our little community of religion, it doesn't matter whether you're Islamic or Christian or pagan, or rather not pagan, let me retract that term, or ancestral in nature. It is so much about what we are saying in our spaces. When we go for the Owambes, we go for our social gathering, what are we talking about? What are we re-amplifying? Because I keep saying that the narratives we keep telling ourselves is what we will eventually manifest. So if we are all going out of this conversation, what are we taking away from this conversation? Are we going to say, you know what? Nigeria is quite a beautiful country. The country is doing the best it can, but the citizens now need to be more conscious, audacious, and very, very clear about the vision they have for Nigeria, and then take actions that match that. If we do not do that, even with the children we are raising, the words that live with us, and how we even treat those so-called people we call minor house girls and house boys, which the law says you cannot call anybody. It is very clear in the VAP Act, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. If we mind our language, if we do not try to weaponize conversations, if we also are careful in how we interject one another, even when we have a powerful point of view to share, but we're not listening to the other person, what will happen is we will create worse echo chambers than the one we're already fighting against. So if we're going to go forward here today, like I said, I would love to have a summary of all the transcriptions of what we've done today. We would like to populate it mainstream so that people will see that this perspective also exists and they can chew on it, amplify it, and then take actions that match the vision that we want to see happen. And I would love to be part of the Almajiri conversation because I'm somebody who is in the literary space and I critique certain things. And what I do is I tackle mindsets that are limiting and mindsets that are weaponized. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. She's tackling mindsets, not mindset as in mindset. Hope you guys understand that, right? So she's not
Yes, not at you, mindset, not at you.
Right, so they will say, okay, who's this lady who's coming to tackle mindset? Please leave him alone. But thank you very much. I mean, there's other conversation that we would like you to be part of as well. So we wait to hear from Annette, and the mic is yours. Your final thoughts, sir.
No, I think I've said everything that needs to be said. Thank you for the conversation today.
I think I've called everyone, right? Lori, right? Okay. Thank you, guys. Please, before we leave the platform, I'll, come back some other time. I just wanted to bring to the notice of the House that we still have these children. I know some of you might be bored in hearing me tweeting about it. There are 3 things I've mentioned that I'm more interested in moving forward to the election: insecurity in Nigeria, judiciary, and INEC, right? But the, conversation like the Almajiri and all these things, we're going to be having those conversations. But please, I just want us to continue to speak about these young children that were kidnapped in Oyo State and Borno States. We have 42 of them kidnapped in Borno State, and we have 46 of them, including their teachers, kidnapped in Oyo State. They have not been. We have not had anything. We don't know what's going on there. And then there are others who have been kidnapped that we don't even talk about anymore. I think there are 37 worshippers that were kidnapped in Kaduna State. That was during Easter. And then there are others that were kidnapped in Kwara State and Kogi State. So I know it will not bring a lot of likes and retweets, but if you can, use your handle and just let the world know, let Nigerians know that these guys are not free yet. They have not been found. We don't know what's going on with them. So please, it's very important. Yes, there's something I wanted to respond to. That was what Mr. King said. He talked about people with big handles, and when they say something, people will listen. I just don't believe in that. Honestly, that has been my mindset. I just don't believe in these influencers or what have you. If it's one person you have on this platform, I don't read how many followers you have. As long as I'm able to see you, you request the mic, you come and you speak. Whether we have somebody that have 70 million followers, we're not going to say, okay, we're going to patronize that person because they have a 70 million followers. No. Your handle is your handle. Your power, the power belongs to you. Do not be a slave to anyone, right? And when somebody says something, whether it's right or wrong, you're going to like it and retweet it because they have followers. I mean, I don't buy into it. If that works to anybody, it doesn't work for me because I'm one handle that a lot of people from APC, Labour Party, PDP, there has been meetings about my person. You will hear them say, please, those two individuals that you mentioned will tell their followers, oh, go on and follow him. He doesn't like Peter Obi. Go on and follow him. He doesn't like Atiku. Go on and follow him. He talk ill of the president. Respectfully, as long as you're here, Miss Ejire is here, Folabi is here, Miriam, Nathan, Roy, Yusuf, and every other person, we will continue to have these conversations with open mind, okay? So your hand, don't go into this influencing thing. I just don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me, okay? But